Just leave me to do my dark bidding on the internet.
It's called Two Brothers. Two Brothers. It's just called Two Brothers.
Welcome to, well, it's not really two brothers. It's one brother.
And a black guy.
What do you want to call yourself,
Dude,
Josh?
I don't even know. You guys, like, what is it this time?
We were okay, so we were talking about it before the episode, right? We were thinking tall Korean dude, or since I just went with black guy, or we in the episode I called you tall Josh in the last one, so there's that. It's up to you. It's up to you.
It doesn't matter. Friend was fine.
Friend was fine.
Like,
so two brothers, black guy and friend.
I'm not even like
It's a long
Korean
title.
enough to be Korean, right? So a lot of people will get offended. Josh, I'm not even gonna say my last name, but if I were to say it, you know what I'm saying?
I know what it is. I know exactly what it
That is
is.
the widest name.
I know
I've
exactly
ever
what it
heard.
is
So
too.
we'll just keep it as two brothers.
And a black guy
and
friend. I
Which,
got
there's
you.
no brother here, I guess.
Yeah.
It's strange.
Guys,
doing
I
an episode, but-
apologize that I offended Edgar on the last.
Oh no, dude! It's
You know,
it's all
and
good.
He was like, filling in for Edgar will be a tall, dark, literally dark man. Fill
No,
his shoes.
look. So so Edgar's not on this episode, but
It's a little saddening.
he sends his regards.
We miss you, bro. It ain't the
and
same without you.
Josh is kind enough to join us for another episode,
Yep.
which is great.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, me and Josh have to admit though, and I know Edgar's gonna listen to this. His list was not that great.
It was pretty bad.
Yeah. It was not great, but it made for some great content, which is what matters.
Yeah,
Sure.
I mean, I
Sure.
do
Bless his
think
heart.
I
Yeah.
do think that Edgar could have at least given more of a reason as to why his stuff was horror. Because I know what you guys are saying, but I think if he would have just defended himself a little bit more, it might have been better. That's all I'm
To
saying.
be fair, I also
That's all
feel
I'm
like
saying.
and hopefully we'll do it more on this episode.
My
I have
fault.
to-
I think you and I talked
Yeah.
a couple days ago, and,
Yeah.
and
I brought that up to Edgar, and he was totally like I don't really, really.
He
care.
doesn't give a shit. He's like,
You
yeah,
know?
that was yesterday, bro. Like, whatever, bro.
He's
Yeah.
like, I think Edgar even said like, why did Josh enjoy the episode so much? Oh, we only just shoot the shit. We're not that important. We're just two
I mean,
brothers, but
we're nerds. We're just talking about the things that
we're
we love,
We're
man.
so glad that
Yeah.
Josh. I mean, you enjoyed your time.
absolutely.
podcast, so
No, and I think that's what it's all about, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's just coming together and bullshitting with one another.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, just having
I
fun.
think the problem is that we've been doing this thing for so long. I don't think we've had anyone come in here and challenge our opinions.
I don't think I was that
lists.
challenging.
You sure?
We're gonna see
Was
today.
I?
We're gonna
We'll
see
find
today.
out.
We'll find
today.
today. Yeah,
We're gonna
so-
find out
today.
today.
Today I'm taking off the gloves.
Because I think we're
okay.
all some pretty strong-minded people. So yeah.
So tonight's episode we're going to be talking about bad movies but good concepts.
Great concepts
And
that
there's
are
plenty
turned out
of
to be bad
those.
movies. Yeah.
I know Josh, you'll have a lot to say about this.
Yep.
On this podcast.
Yeah, I was super excited when you brought this up, and of course I had to be on for a couple of reasons. Obviously, I'm like, I think Alberto's trying to poke the bear a little bit when bringing up this.
Is this the Batman v
idea.
Superman argument? Should I even bring this up? Should I even bring this up?
I mean, I feel like I told this to Josh. I feel like we're gonna have to do a whole episode on just like Zack Snyder stuff, like the movies and everything.
You know what, bro? We haven't. We did director spotlight. Zack Snyder is not on that list. We should do a director spotlight for Zack Snyder.
Do you think, as in like he's a good director?
Well, I mean, we should
Let
just
me
do it.
ask you this question.
We should just
Is
do
he
that.
A bad director.
I want to say he's a great director.
Off and on. I think.
Define a great director.
I think he has some good movies though. Like I like.
Yeah.
I like 300.
Hey, question,
100 is good.
question,
Yeah.
Okay.
question, guys.
Yo.
Steven Spielberg is a great director.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
Agreed.
He's
Absolutely,
my
right?
favorite director.
How,
He's my
how
favorite
many
director.
awful movies has Steven Spielberg actually?
Quite a few.
Quite a few.
Quite a few.
And he's still great.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's
Quentin
true.
Tarantino is about to retire, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Because he has a philosophy stating if you go over a certain amount of movies, that's when every director has peaked.
Mm-hmm.
Has he done terrible movies?
He's had a couple. He's had a couple.
One or two, yeah.
I don't
He's still
think. Well, actually, you know what? A couple of them are on my list. So yeah, I say he's definitely had a couple. He's definitely had a couple.
I think there's a handful of directors out there that have done terrible movies. There's one that comes to mind that I think has been pretty consistent, and that's Christopher Nolan.
Yeah.
In my opinion,
We did Director Spotlight on Christopher Nolan.
I don't
That's what
think he's
Christopher
done a
Nolan was
terrible
about.
movie.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
don't think he's done a bad movie.
Right.
But Zack Snyder is not. I think you and I talked, a while back that I think he's the most daring.
I'll give you that. He is the most daring.
He is for sure. He's
sure.
he's done a lot. He's done a lot.
I just feel like with Batman v Superman specifically, there was just a lot of choices I just didn't. Even after we were done recording our podcast about the top 5 horror films, I was talking to Edgar about Batman v Superman, and I was like, there's just so many things I feel like they could have cut out.
Or not done at all.
I don't disagree. Nowhere do I say that it's
I guess
perfect
I
movie.
have a fixation on the superhero movies he's made. And I know he's done a lot more other movies like Dawn of the Dead, 300.
Dawn of the Dead was also
You know,
great. I love
yeah.
Dawn of the Dead. That one's real
Great.
good. That one's
Great
real good.
movie.
Yep.
300.
300. Yep.
Yeah.
Watchmen. Great.
I like Watchmen. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'll give you that too.
There's a lot of things that are great. That is great about Batman v Superman, but there's
Mhm.
also a lot of
Shitty things
shitty
that are
things
not good that they
about
shouldn't have
Batman
done.
v Superman as
Oh,
well.
God.
I will state that, but it's not a bad movie. I think it got more hate
Okay,
than it deserves.
maybe I didn't ask you this question last time, but
Sure.
I guess since we're on the topic, I would personally say that I don't know if I'd put it on my list as like
Great concept, bad movie.
Batman v Superman, but I just want to know what to you makes it a.
I do.
movie.
Before you answer that, Josh, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to cut you off. I would put that on the list of great concept bad movie personally.
Batman v Superman.
Because I think that as comic book fans, Batman v Superman, that's a fight we've been looking forward to. I mean, that was like because Civil War and Batman v Superman came out the same year, right? So Captain America versus Iron Man, that's something that like comic book fans have been waiting to see on screen, just like Batman v Superman. You know what I mean? So I do think that that's something that I would put it on my list. My list is long enough as it is, but I'd put that on that list. So.
I'm not going to answer that question.
Yeah. So.
really?
Oh shit.
really?
I'm gonna actually save it for our next podcast.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
yeah, I don't think
You don't want to.
He's not gonna pull up the stops on this.
I'm
He's
not
trying to
gonna
move
pull the
on.
stops on
He's
this.
trying to move on. And
Yeah,
I
I'm
respect
gonna
that.
absolutely move on.
I respect
we got
that.
some more things
We're
to
gonna
talk
keep
about.
building up that episode.
I'm down. I'm down. But before we go into this title, guys, I want to actually ask you guys a question.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I think when it comes to great concepts, bad execution,
Mhm.
I think, in all honesty, is it fair to say is it a matter of opinion?
Yeah, I mean, I think one can make the argument that like all entertainment's a matter of opinion. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Because
Yeah,
you're
I would say so. Too.
yeah your favorite movie or your favorite game or your favorite artist, like your favorite like band or whatever, I could absolutely hate them, right?
So
and I could have all the reasons for doing that. You know what I mean? So,
absolutely.
Yeah. So I mean, I think it's all subjective. you
So let
know?
me ask another fair question.
Okay.
After that,
All the questions today, Josh. All the questions.
I'm full of these questions. Well, I like to dissect. I want to understand.
Yeah, no, I
right?
mean, I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
So what is your guys' opinion of poor execution, great detail
What do you
when
mean?
it comes to a movie? Because let's be honest. When I think about this, does it have to be something that is critically acclaimed through Rotten Tomatoes? Maybe.
Yeah.
Is it a box office performance? Is it under a box office performance?
Right.
Is
Yeah.
it poorly written? Is it advertised really well?
And then like shitty when you watch
yeah,
it.
and it's so shitty. I think there's so many variables. That's why like this is such a interesting topic, and why I actually didn't want to
Put up a list.
put
or
up a
anything.
list because it
Fair
is
enough, yeah.
100% in my opinion your opinion, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Because let me show you this article, and I'm not going to read the article. I just want to read the list.
Okay.
Okay, and after I go over this list, I want to ask you another question.
Okay. Well, before you get into that question, let me answer the question you just
Please.
asked.
Yes.
So.
Yeah.
So
let's ask, I want to ask
so,
you guys.
Yeah.
please.
So I guess in my mind, like I pretty much would agree with what you're saying. It's more just about, 'cause me personally, And before I get into my list, I told Starbird, but I'll tell you as well. Before I get into my list, we're not going to go through all of them. We're just going to kind of shoot the shit. Like, whatever I get to is whatever I get to. A lot of these movies I have on my list, I do actually like. You know what I mean?
No,
So
100 right there.
So-
I want you to let's hold off on that.
Right.
But keep going,
A
yeah.
lot of these movies on the list I do actually like. I realize that not all the entertainment I consume is good, you know. I like it, but I enjoy it for some reason, you know. So my thing, like, I don't care about Rotten Tomatoes scores. I don't care about audience reviews. I don't even care about the Oscars. I don't watch the Oscars or the Grammys or any of that shit. I'm sorry, y'all lost me in 2016 with the whole Moonlight thing, and this is a whole different topic. We won't get into this. We'll have an episode on music a little bit later. Once Gucci Gang became the #1 song in the world, y'all lost all my respect. Okay, I just don't care. So like y'all, the accolades, just because you get accolades doesn't mean that you're on top. You may be on top in the eyes of society, but I don't care about that. So I don't really care about reviews as long as I find some enjoyment in it and I know why. That's all that's important to me personally.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. So I mean, a lot of these movies on this list I do like, but I acknowledge their flaws. You know what I mean? So yeah.
I love that.
That's what I would say.
love that.
No, I agree. I
Yeah.
mean, there's one movie on my list when we get into it.
Yeah, he and I
Yeah,
actually have in
yeah.
common. Yeah. So
That I put on the list that I was like, I watched it a few more times than I would care to admit. And understand that wasn't executed well. But for some reason, there are some like elements that I do enjoy.
Is
from
it
that,
a
you know?
guilty pleasure?
Yeah, I would say it's a guilty pleasure.
yeah, I have a lot of guilty pleasures on my list too. Yeah,
Mhm.
for sure.
Absolutely.
For
You know,
sure.
And the
Yeah.
thing is I can't put these guilty pleasures on a list
Yeah,
because I enjoy
that's
them
why
so
I'm like,
much.
that's why I just like
So
slap
this
it
is why
on
it's
there,
so
yeah.
hard. Because
Yeah.
you know they were big budget. They were advertised really well. You know, like all-star actors, actresses, and then
Yeah.
it's like so bad.
Yeah.
But there's something. Okay, I'll just share.
Yeah.
My guilty pleasure is Street Fighter. Jean-Claude Van Damme.
That's a pretty good guilty
Street
pleasure
That's
though.
a good one.
Fighter.
That's a good one.
That movie
That's
is
a good one.
trash.
It's terrible.
It's
It's really bad.
there is nothing
It's really fucking bad.
Street Fighter about that movie.
Right,
Nope.
yeah.
But I can watch that movie
Uh,
so much.
I have a question. In Street Fighter, who does Jean-Claude Van Damme play? Like,
Guile.
really?
He's American. With,
Oh my
with that
God.
accent. Whatever
Wow.
the hell he is, Austrian.
Wow. Okay, I'm sorry. I was thinking. I mean, Ryu, Ken, anyone, honestly. But okay, whatever.
I can see that.
Yeah,
That-
yeah.
That is a. Should we share our guilty pleasure?
I mean,
movies,
they're
or-
on my list, but okay, I can share one from my list if you guys want me.
Do you want
to
to go through that article?
Go
first?
through the article first?
Yeah, let
yeah.
me
go through the
through
list
it.
first
And this
before
is
we go on
just me spitballing, guys.
Yeah.
This is the list you found from the article.
This is
yeah.
this is a
Yeah.
quick list,
Yeah.
and I have another point afterwards.
Yeah, yeah.
Is you know, so number one, The Box, 2009.
Is that the one with? Wait, no. Oh, yep. Okay,
It's
I know
that
what
Twilight
that is.
Zone movie.
So yeah, okay, okay.
I'm not aware of that one.
It,
but-
it was
Okay.
advertised like crazy.
Uh-huh.
It bombed in the box office.
Okay.
Sucker Punch is on there.
I've seen it on a few lists. when I was-
Okay.
yeah.
Yep.
Hancock,
That's
Hancock
that's
as
actually
well.
on my
I saw that
list.
too.
That's on my
Yeah.
list.
The
yep.
Purge,
We were just talking about that. Me and Maurice. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
In
Yep.
Time is the final movie.
Okay.
That's the one with
Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Yeah.
Actually, hold
Is
on,
it?
got a few more. That's with Justin Timberlake.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay,
so
I'm thinking
it's
something
the one where
different,
they pretty much give time of their life for money.
That's
So-
right.
so
yeah,
the
that's
more
right.
time
Okay,
that
okay.
you use,
Oh,
the
okay.
more
Uh-huh.
span is shortened out.
Okay.
And then Percy Jackson, Olympians, and the Olympians,
Okay.
Mhm.
and Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets.
I've heard of that one.
Valerian.
They made a big deal about it because it was the writer and director of The Fifth Element.
Oh,
It's a
okay.
cult cult
Mhm.
classic.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody seemed in any way interested in seeing that movie. But
Yep.
but my question is and this is somebody's opinion, right?
Yeah.
How many of those movies that are on that list that you guys actually liked?
From that list, I would say none of them. Not from
I
that
would say
list.
Hancock.
Well, I like Hancock. I do like Hancock.
Yeah.
It's not good, but once again, I
Yeah.
do like Hancock.
So
yeah.
I enjoyed Hancock.
Yeah.
I enjoyed The Purge. I would say my argument in time is that Justin Timberlake was probably not the best.
Yeah,
choice.
no, he's not an
Best
action
choice
star.
for it.
He's not an action star.
But I did actually enjoy that movie. Sucker Punch. I don't think it was a bad movie.
It's alright.
I don't
It's
really,
alright.
like,
Yeah.
not really
Yeah.
it's a kind of a forgettable film.
Yeah, yeah.
Visually, it is.
Yeah,
it
it's
is
a
good.
beautiful
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
You know, it is boring as fuck. But
That's a Zack Snyder movie too, right?
that's a
Sucker
Zack
Punch.
Snyder
Yeah.
movie. You
Yeah.
know? But
Yeah.
a lot of these movies, I don't know. I wasn't excited for any of those movies.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like I saw Hancock. I remember the first teaser of it, and I don't remember being like, "Oh my god, I need to be the first in line to see this."
Yeah,
movie.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Now, do you think?
You know,
do you think that these movies that are on that list, and maybe even that are on our list, do you think it's because of maybe it subverted your expectations in a way that like left a bad taste in your mouth at all, or
No,
no?
You didn't feel like it was like mismarketed
or maybe like
anything?
mismarketed
Yeah.
or anything like that?
no.
No?
Just and that's why I think it's such a strong opinion, because it's based on your guys' interest.
Yeah.
I think plays a part of it.
We
right?
set expectations on something when we see like a trailer or like an advertisement. We're like,
and knowing
we know what
where
we
it
want it
comes
to be.
from.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Like the Valerian is a perfect example.
Mhm.
I was a huge fan of Fifth Element.
yeah.
I loved that movie. Did I want to see this one because of it? Absolutely. Was I crazy enough to see it? No, but I can see a lot. There was like a huge fan.
There was an
base,
interest, right?
yeah, of
Yeah.
people that and it bombed. It wasn't critically, but to be honest with you guys, there are also a lot of movies, and these are all critically terrible too on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of well-received movies that I feel that are garbage
Yeah.
as well.
I'm
The
definitely with
opposite
you on
end of
that.
spectrum.
I'm definitely with you on that.
So,
yeah.
so that's why it's
Yeah.
so tough for me to make this list. I do have some, and you know, I'll let you guys share, and when you share, I'll share my own.
yeah.
But it just, to me, it's what was I excited for, what was I
Yeah.
interested in,
Mm.
and then let down. I
Right.
guess.
Right.
You know.
So I mean, could you the whole topic when we were coming up with like good concept, bad movie? I feel like another way to title it is like just disappointing films.
Yeah.
You know, movies
fair.
that we were just
Movies that
disappointed
just
by.
didn't
Not
meet our
really
expectations.
terrible
Yeah.
movies, but certainly just missed our mark.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, no, I agree with that too. Yeah. Well, I mean, since we have it on our list, I think I guess we could just start kicking off with The Purge. Like what I can tell you like what was a turn off for me. Like I think marketing wise, great. Like with the trailer and like with what they presented, like I think the concept, you know, I mean, like I think literally the first trailer was like the emergency broadcast system. Like,
Yeah.
this is The Purge.
Yes.
Imagine how scary that would be, because like I hate the emergency broadcast sound. Like that shit. Like it took me a long time not to be scared of that, but that's a whole other different story. But like that, the way that they marketed it, the way they presented it, like when I see that, like the trailer for that film, like the way they did it, I think just like straight anarchy, and like, you know what I mean, like. We're fucking everything up, and like
which
we're
the
Americans,
later
you know what I mean?
films Did
Yeah.
finally.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
absolutely a tease to
Yeah.
the later
Yeah.
films.
But
Yeah.
then when I saw the movie, and I'm just like, it just turned out to be just another slasher movie, and I didn't appreciate that, because I'm just like, you have literally anything is legal, everything is legal, you can do anything you want, and you'll get away with it, and you're hunting this one family and this dude, and I don't get it. Like it felt like a waste opportunity.
Which I mean,
you know what I mean?
It's like, oh, we're just gonna this huge concept, and we're just gonna ground it
Right,
in this
and
one
it's like I
situation.
feel like if you're gonna have a huge concept, you should have kind of a huge story, right? Like huge stakes. Like I'm thinking, like I was telling Alberto, like something that I thought would have been cool, like a heist thriller, right? Like you have, and there's a ticking time clock. The Purge being the ticking time clock. Okay, we have till this amount of time to rob this many banks and rob this many people, and if we don't do it by this particular time, we're screwed, right? You know, or you know, they, like there's so much, like, okay, like, you know, like the end of Dark Knight Rises, where they have the League of Shadows just messing everything up, kind of thing. Like you could have done that, but like legally, you know, and then once things get back up, that's just an idea, it's a concept.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Just for me, at the end of the day, it just felt like it went back to.
They wasted their
just
concept, in
regressed
my
to a
opinion.
slasher film, I
Yeah,
think.
you know what I mean?
You know?
Like I feel like they could have done so much. They could have done so much with that. And like you're saying,
We're talking about the first one.
yeah,
right?
the first one, because like you're saying, they did something more with the sequels, and I think they have a show now, right, or something like
That
that.
was like a long time.
That was a while
I think
ago.
they did. I don't think
It did very well. Yeah, but yeah, I just feel like it was a wasted opportunity. Like I feel like if they would have started off with something a lot more like interesting, a lot more larger scale, I just think it would have been better. So yeah. But that's definitely one. So
yeah, that's one on the list.
Yeah.
I mean, what did you said you liked?
I
The
enjoyed
Purge,
it.
right?
I think it's a great movie. I went in not knowing what to expect.
Okay.
You have an actor like Ethan Hawke.
love Ethan Hawke.
Yeah.
Love Ethan Hawke, a great actor. Talking about our last conversation on the last podcast, is it really a horror movie?
Not really.
Not really.
No, not at all.
Not really. And
Thriller. I feel like it.
Yeah,
fits
more of a thriller.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you have to understand that the idea of it is so great. You have this like sleazy VP of some business, I want to say. I don't remember exactly what his role was, but he's selling these security devices during the purge at a ridiculous price.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And it was actually flawed.
Mm-hmm.
You can easily break into it. It was cheap as fuck. He's bragging about it in the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, it's pretty much a scam.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
scam.
Yeah.
And
It's a
what
pyramid
happens
scheme.
to him?
Yeah.
They did have. Yeah.
It ends up fucking him over.
It backfires on. Yeah.
It backfires.
Okay, now that part's actually smart. I didn't think about that.
So
that part's
we're
actually
talking
smart.
about
Yeah.
corporate America
Oh,
taking it to
Yeah.
the right.
we
And
all
they end up
we all have some
fucking
beef with that.
themselves. Absolutely.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
He ends up fucking himself over about
Yep.
it. And I think when you look at that like deep aspect of that movie and that meaning of it, in this house, right? And this is like, oh, this guy has the security system. You would think he has the best, but he's no different.
Right.
He's no different.
Yeah.
You think
And-
he'd be smart enough to like scam other people, but then like actually get a good one for himself?
Absolutely.
But he didn't.
He did.
didn't do that.
But I think it was
Yeah.
more to that movie than just the four walls and the family and the love interest of the girl. It was just really just corporate America taking advantage of a specific holiday, and getting fucked over it.
Yeah.
That's just the way I
I
look
feel,
at
I feel
it.
like you just said that like you went in there with like no expectations and everything like that.
Yeah.
Then I feel like that.
See, I think that's the thing for us. Like we actually went in with something. We wanted something like larger scale, because I think that's a large scale concept. You know what I mean?
Does
Yeah.
that mean that we're also like suckers at the end of the day when we go into a movie like that?
I
Yeah.
think so. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I mean, because like I was saying before, we all have our expectations of what we want, right?
Yeah,
And then
absolutely.
when we don't get it,
Yeah.
even if upon second watch, I'm just like, this is just not what I wanted. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah.
No,
Yeah,
I mean
yeah.
another movie that's on the list that I feel like a sucker for fucking watching was Spiral from the Book of Saw. Have you guys seen that movie?
I don't watch Saw.
Oh,
I
you
think
don't watch Saw,
I
but
think I'm a
you haven't
you.
seen
I
it.
think
I
you're a
don't
terrible
watch
You
person
dropped
for
on it.
watching.
I don't
Saw.
watch garbage.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
no.
you're a terrible person for liking this franchise.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
like torture porn.
Okay,
Uh,
look. So
just-
here's the thing.
Maurice, he goes in a room, watches it by himself. Sky's the limits. Sky's the limits.
Do you like
Do you
Human
not see
Centipede,
the,
Alberto?
The little Billy the puppet doll?
Yeah, I
I'm
can
a
see
huge
him.
fan.
I don't like him. No, I don't want to
Uh,
play a game, Jigsaw.
so with Spiral, look, I agree. The Saw movies they're not great.
No.
Guilty pleasure.
They're
we go.
guilty pleasure.
Okay,
pleasure
fair
for
enough.
sure.
Fair enough. Don't know why, but
That's the kind of let's not tell our audience what you're doing, but
oh lord.
that's more
Stop
for-
it, Maurice.
Hey, I didn't. I was me. It's not me. It's this guy.
But the movies I've come to enjoy for how ridiculous the plot is, how it just continues to keep going without there not needing a reason for like after the third movie. Anyways, with Spiral,
Was Chris Rock in that one? Is that the one with Chris
yeah,
Rock?
that's the one with Chris Rock.
Why did they choose him
There was so
for that
much.
movie?
There was so much behind that movie, and if Edgar was here, he'd be fucking yelling at me right now.
Fucking moron.
Yeah, like that. There you go, Josh.
You got bad taste, you piece of shit.
Yep, that would be him.
You had Chris Rock, who everyone was talking about in the time, like, oh, you got all these comedians coming in to do horror movies, like Jordan Peele.
He's
I
also-
wouldn't really call him a comedian, but like John Krasinski had a background. Like
He's also
in
a
The
good writer
Office.
too.
Yeah.
Chris Rock.
John Krasinski, I mean, he killed it.
With
Quiet
the
Place and Quiet Place 1 and 2.
So
I
when you
love
hear
those
Chris
movies.
Rock and like,
yeah.
oh, he's gonna do a Saw movie, where the Saw movies are finally gonna fucking have some big names attached to it. You got Samuel Jackson also attached to it. There's a returning director from the old Saw movies coming back. Like everything seemed to like line up into like, oh, this is gonna be the return of the Saw movies. And I went to go watch it, and boy, was I fucking just dead wrong. I think that might be the worst of all the Saw movies, in my opinion.
Really?
Well, no, actually, I still say 3D is the worst.
Yeah.
But this one, I feel like it's just so much potential.
What's wrong with it? Like, what did you not like?
It tried to. Well, first off, it tried to make a Saw movie without, Jigsaw, which I feel like is a huge risk. Not having John Kramer in it, which I know it's like he's dead at this point. But
isn't that the idea though? Is that his legacy lives on after he dies?
Yeah, but see, and that's the thing that I feel like the rest of the movies just don't. You can make an argument they don't do as well, because you got all these copycat killers that don't really follow his philosophy and blah blah whatever. And it's like, oh, and then at this point the movies become like, well, who's the next? Who's the Jigsaw?
After a certain while, it just feels like it's a parody of itself.
It's like,
yeah,
that's what everyone wants to see now. It's like, what's the big twist at the end here? And I feel like Spiral is all centered around that twist, to the point where it was just very like you could see it a mile away. I think that is what made that movie really terrible, in my opinion, is that it just focused too much on making the audience think that they know who's going to be like, oh, the twist and all that. And then, like, when it finally happens, you're just like...
I saw that coming.
Yeah.
Like, it just fell flat. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't watch Saw, so I'll just take your word for it, Alberto. So, yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't great. But I feel like that I just had to put that one.
You know what's sad is actually I want to watch those movies. I think I only watched up to the fourth one, and then I just got burnt out. And then I remember it was like, oh, it's on some streaming service. Maybe I should binge it. And I watched the first one, and I was like, I can't do it.
Yep. No.
They're just so exhausting.
As in, the first one didn't
the first one's a classic.
So when you rewatched it, were you just like, I can't see it past?
Yeah, I just can't see it. I even liked the second one. The second one, if my memory serves me right, it's the cop is looking for his son, and and then it's like, oh, if you just stay here, spoilers, in time,
he was here all along.
He was there the whole time.
Yeah, there's a thing where Jigsaw has a play on words, like, oh, he's in a safe place, and he literally means he's in a fucking safe.
Yeah,
behind him. And
I love the second one. I love the
I
second
enjoyed
one
it too. Yeah,
but it obviously it's definitely a acquired taste.
Yeah, that would be the way to put it. Definitely not my acquired taste. Not at all.
Definitely mine's.
I guess he's a very interesting human being, Alberto.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you already know me, John.
As you bring us to your room in front of your bed.
Yeah, we got the Billy the Puppet doll.
right behind Josh. Yep. So I guess another one I could mention here. Listen, I'm not going to get to all of these, but I mean, there's quite a few. Let me see.
Well, Maurice, before you, Josh, do you have one?
I do actually.
Yeah, go for it.
The Village.
Is that the one with
The Village?
Mark Wahlberg? Or
No,
is it someone else?
That is Joaquin Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
And then the director's daughter. Oof.
Oh, really?
The Village.
You guys have never seen The Village.
I've heard of it, but the only reason I always confuse. I don't know why. I always confuse The Village with The Happening. I don't know why.
Which is another one on my list also.
Yeah, but so I always confuse those two. That's why I was looking for clarification.
So Bryce Dallas Howard.
Okay.
Is the main character. You think Joaquin Phoenix is actually the main character, but something, spoilers. Do you guys care?
Yeah, no, go for it.
So he ends up actually getting stabbed in the beginning of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
So he's gone for...
Stabbed dead or just injured?
He's injured.
Okay.
And then Bryce Dallas Howard has to get some medication, but then she's told that she needs to go somewhere to get the medication. But the thing is the woods is being guarded by these creatures. So she has to go out there with the fear of being killed by these creatures that are outside of the village.
Mm-hmm.
and it takes place in seems like 1500s maybe. Timeline. I'm terrible history buff.
Period piece.
Yeah,
piece.
no, it's definitely a period piece.
Yeah.
And I remember I was on the hype train of M. Night Shyamalan. You know, you got The Sixth Sense.
Love
you
Sixth Sense.
have
Yep.
Unbreakable.
Mm-hmm.
And then The Village came out, and oh my god, the ending was just so horrific. It was so bad. I guess again, spoilers. It's actually a village that is excluded from modern time. So they live in modern time.
Yeah.
But this guy creates this village to protect the people from the corrupt world that we live in today.
Right.
So and there are little hints that you see this being true, right? Like for example, they speak like Old English, thou and thee and all this
Shakespeare
stuff.
type shit. Yeah.
And then but then when the bigwigs come together in this room, they're not speaking it anymore. Like during the movie.
Yeah.
You know, and Bryce Dallas Howard, one of the reasons why they allow her to actually leave the village is because she's actually blind.
Oh, okay.
So
see, the way as you're talking about it, it's like this sounds like a good idea for a movie.
Yeah.
And it's a very interesting movie. It was so good. And what's sad is I want to like it. It's one of those movies where like I want to watch.
That's what I was going to ask you next. Like, do you actually like the movie?
No.
No, I don't like
thing is,
it.
to this day, I still want to like it.
You just don't.
How many times have you seen it?
Once.
Just the one time.
And I think actually I take that back. One and a half.
Okay. Well,
so you watched it once, tried to watch it again, couldn't finish it.
And I try to put it in, and I'll sit back while I'm doing some things, and then I'm just like, no,
I'm done.
can't do it.
And it's strictly and it's solely just because of the ending of the movie.
Yeah.
It was
You just see it coming, and you're just at this point you're just like, I don't know.
Well, and even these creatures
Yeah.
that are in the woods that are scaring the people. It's just the main people that are like going that run the village.
They're not really. They're like there's no.
There's no monsters. They just wear these costumes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they just roam around at night, scaring the people to keep them in there. And it was just not, Sixth Sense is such a original, smart movie.
Yeah. Sixth Sense is great.
And
I see dead people.
Yeah, absolutely. Unbreakable was just amazing in its own as well, especially for comic book fans. And then The Village, I would confidently say that was like his spiral. That's when he was just like, what is this guy doing anymore?
Yeah.
I don't know what came first, Signs or The Village. I think Signs came before
Signs,
Village.
yeah, and then The Village. At what point do you think he's ever redeemed himself? M. Night Shyamalan?
Yeah.
Like at what point did you think that? All right, now he's starting to turn it around a little bit.
Split.
I was gonna say Split was
good.
Yeah.
good.
I was a Split fan.
Was there one like the cross universe one between like Split and Samuel Jackson's character from
Glass.
Unbreakable?
Yeah,
Glass.
Glass.
Okay. Yeah.
I was not a fan of that one.
Okay.
What was the one with when the kids go to their grandparents?
The Visit.
The Visit was good.
There
Devil.
was Old as well. Devil. Yeah.
Devil was good, but it was not directed by M. Night Shyamalan.
It was not.
It was written.
Okay.
Okay.
by him.
Old was directed by Shyamalan, right? I think.
Old was.
Yeah.
Was not good.
It's not great, no.
Yeah, it wasn't.
I'm
It
not a
wasn't
fan
awesome.
of that one.
Yeah.
I didn't even like the concept either. When I was just like,
Yeah, and you know what sucks? You know what sucks is like he's like the director that I want to give a shot because I think I love like Unbreakable so much.
Yeah.
But it's just the tryhards. I don't know. Is what he's trying too much. Maybe he should just do something else. Also, his dialogue is he's probably one of the worst directors when it comes to dialogue.
I agree. Yeah, The Happening is a perfect example of
The
that.
Happening was so bad.
Okay,
And
I'm
I
glad.
knew
I'm
that
glad
was
I
gonna
wasn't
be
the only
bad.
one who had because, like I said, when I hear The Village, I just hear The Happening. They were just interchangeable to me because I'm sorry, so that's my bad. But yeah, bit of a controversial hot take. Love Unbreakable. I do. I love that movie. I don't know if I like the ending though. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not. I feel like it was a bit of a cop out. Like,
I don't think you understand good movies.
okay, you know what? Here we go. Here we
We're
go.
about to start. Now.
I knew the day would come. But yeah,
What about it, man?
No, I have to say I haven't seen Unbreakable. I saw Split,
Yeah,
and then I heard that it was like a stealth, kind of like a hidden sequel to Unbreakable.
yeah.
But I didn't watch Unbreakable.
Maurice, vomit your thought process on Unbreakable and offend me, please.
You know what? I'm not saying it's just a cop out. I promise. Let me, because I do love that movie. I think the first time, you know how sometimes you watch a movie and you're not fully like into it. You got to watch it again and be like, okay, I understand it now.
It is a slow pace.
Yeah.
Movie.
So you know, because I literally loved it all the way up until the end. I think at the time, I don't know how I feel about it now. So here's what I'll say. I will watch it again and I'll get back to you. But
Please.
at the time when I watched it, it just felt like they took, like, what's his name? What's the dude's, Elijah Glass, is that his name? The Samuel Jackson's character?
We'll just call him Mr. Glass.
Mr. Glass, okay. It feels like they just took the concept of him being as awesome as he was and they just kind of like threw it in the trash, like, oh, he's just a bomber now. And then Bruce Willis just walks out the room. And so I'm seeing it at the time and I'm just like,
Can I ask you something?
that didn't feel like it was earned. It didn't feel satisfying. It didn't feel satisfying. But once again, I will watch it again and I'll get back to you.
Are you do you like comic books? Are you a comic book fan?
I'll be honest, I don't really get to read them like that or collect them like that. But whenever I do get to read comic books, I mean, there's so many. Like with Marvel and DC, I don't.
Understandable.
Yeah, I don't. I'm not even gonna try to catch up at this point. Like, I'll see when I can. But I watch this YouTube channel called Variant Comics, and it's a really good channel if you like comics, but you don't really, have the necessary means or time or desire to collect them like that. Because they'll show you history, they'll show you particular comic books, but then they'll give you like the panels and they'll read it for you and stuff like that. So, I do like them. I just don't necessarily. I wouldn't want to catch it with Marvel and DC at all, really, because I'm so off at this point. But
that's fair. And why I asked that question too is because the Unbreakable is a love letter to comic book fans.
Yeah, it is.
Understand it.
It is.
You really have to understand comic books and superhero origins, right? There's a lot of things that are great about it, right? You have everyone is color specific, which is so amazing. For example, Mr. Glass is purple.
Right.
So everywhere he's at,
I feel like they have their own color theme. Is what
yeah,
you're saying.
exactly, right?
Okay.
He's wearing purple all the time.
Yeah.
Lex Luthor is, I don't know if I'm saying this correct, but green, right?
Yeah, no, green.
Yeah, I believe he's
know,
green.
right?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna compare it to like Superman and Lex Luthor.
Right. Yeah.
Because and then you have Bruce Willis's character who is green. It's a green scheme. I don't know.
Yeah, I know green color scheme. Yeah,
green
got
color
you.
scheme.
Yeah.
And then they're friends. At one point, comic books, Lex Luthor knew Superman.
So I'm just letting you know, you're selling me on the movie right now.
They
I have to know what's going on.
Yeah,
so
they have a relationship with one another. And then it turns out that this idea that somebody else is on the other spectrum that is opposite to Mr. Glass, right? He accepted who he was.
Yeah.
But to find out this other individual that is similar to him, maybe opposite, unbreakable, we'll just call it what it is, he's willing to go to extreme costs to sacrifice people, blowing up buildings, blowing up trains. He's extremely intelligent, like Lex Luthor, and then you have this unbreakable being that has a weakness, water, like Superman's kryptonite.
Oh, just like the Signs movie too. They do that.
I know, funny, right?
Yeah,
he was running out of ideas at that point.
It actually works in Unbreakable though. Okay. That's the thing. Yeah.
It's his weakness, and
you know what? That actually, I'm glad you said that. That actually gives you more perspective on the ending now.
Yeah, and then
because I think last time I watched the movie was in high school. I do have it, but so I will watch it again.
But
for sure.
But that ending when it's like, hey, I'm here to reveal myself now.
Yeah.
Because Bruce Willis's character has that when he touches you, he knows about you.
Right.
Person.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And then he shakes his hand for the first time. They never do this throughout the movie. And he sees every fucked up thing
that Mr. Glass has done.
Glass has done to get to this point.
You know, I think you just made it better for me. Okay. Yep, I got it.
But it
I got
defines
it.
every superhero. You have Spider-Man and Venom.
Mm-hmm.
You have
Batman and Joker.
And the Joker. You have Superman, Lex Luthor. You know, that it's just such love and respect, and not to modern comic books or at the time.
Because that came out like what, 2000, something like that, or like
It was definitely vintage comic book.
Okay.
And a lot of the comic books that they actually talk about, my memories don't. Obviously, it's been a minute. They talk about a lot of vintage comic books. You know, Silver Age and a lot of that stuff that you just appreciate. So every comic book fan, go out and see it.
Yeah.
You know,
Right,
you'll
I have to
appreciate
actually
it.
watch this one.
We're not saying Unbreakable is bad. Once again, I just said I didn't understand the ending, but I think he just made it better for me. Unbreakable is great. The Village, I assume, is not though. So
garbage.
And the Happening also.
Garbage.
And The Happening too. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I will watch Unbreakable again. But that makes more sense now. Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Did you already had a take
Yeah.
on
So
this?
no, we let him go. But I want to talk about, like I said, a couple. Well, let me see. I mean, there's a lot on here. Let me see. Great concept, bad movie. There's a lot on here, guys. So bear with me. Okay, I guess we'll go with this one. The Book of Eli. Have you guys seen that one?
I seen it the
I
one
have.
time. Yeah.
So I mean, come on. You have a man in a post-apocalyptic world who has the last Bible on Earth. I mean, come on. You sold me already. I'm a man of God. So you got me. Okay. The last Bible on Earth. And he's blind. And he's fucking badass. He's basically Kenshi with the gun.
Denzel
You know?
Washington,
I mean, it's
yeah.
awesome. And I do, like I said, and this is one of the ones on the list that I actually do like. I like this movie. I do. I like it a lot. I just feel like
A lot of guilty pleasures. Man.
yeah, but like I just feel like it like progressively went downhill as the movie went on. Like it just feels like
So like what eventually killed
yeah,
him?
like I at first, because like they kind of imply that, you know, because he has the Bible, he has the power of God. That's like one of the things that he uses to defend himself. And the action scenes are fucking awesome. Like the stuff, like that fight in the bar, and like he has that shootout in the streets. Like it's awesome. Like I have no issue with that. But I think that they kind of introduce a lot of stuff, but then they don't really like pay it off all that well.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, okay, he can do this, but like how? And then it's also spoilers. We already talked about spoilers. At the end of the movie, Gary Oldman's character, who's the character who wants the Bible the most, he's like a part of like this like cult. Gary Oldman's character gets the Bible, but then it turns out that the Bible was written for people who are blind because Denzel Washington's blind. So he has the Bible, but he can't read it now.
Oh.
You know, in which I like that concept, but it's like, no, y'all didn't really earn that, because if only he can read the Bible, like it's technically only for him. You know what I mean?
Okay,
Like it doesn't really feel like.
Yeah, you're rejogging my memory.
Yeah, because my thing is like, well, he would want to have the one that everyone can have, right? But then, you know, it feels kind of jumbled, because it's like, okay, I understand that, but then I don't understand it. And then as the movie goes on, like it feels like he's not as overpowered as he was in the beginning. And it's like, oh, well, I know he has to be vulnerable, but it doesn't really make any sense how he's not vulnerable now. It's just like they introduce a lot of cool stuff, right? And the cool stuff is awesome while it's happening. What are you, bro? Dog. We were not okay. Edgar's here, guys. We're in the middle of recording. Jump in, bro. Get your mic. Come on, let's do it. What's up, bro? Well, no, you have to. You should definitely get your own, bro. Get your own.
Well, I will have to say that it's nice to have Maurice here, who's similar to Edgar's cup of tea when it comes to top 5.
Oh, shut up!
What?
Shut up! Okay, okay.
I'm just very interested, and I'm gonna stir the pot a little bit. No disrespect.
No, go ahead. We're here to argue, obviously.
You have a lot of.
Hold
have
on.
a lot of movies that you don't hate that are on the list. I want to hear what you hate, my friend.
Oh, okay, that's fair.
That's
fair.
Like,
that's
okay.
fair. Let me.
You want to get down to the
I want to get down to the nitty gritty.
You want to go to the ones I don't like.
Exactly.
Okay. All right.
Let's talk about it, Maurice. You
Okay.
got Book of Eli.
Okay.
You like that movie?
I do.
But it's not that great.
I do.
guilty pleasure. What was that before? I call it The Purge.
The Purge, yeah.
You know?
Well, I don't like that one.
You
but
didn't like that one.
Yeah, I don't like that
I
one.
want to talk about, ladies and gentlemen.
You wanna talk about
those
the
of
ones
you that
I
are
don't
listening,
like.
I want to talk about like what was out there that let you down. Okay.
Yeah.
Because of extreme hype when it was
Okay, let's
first
get into
presented.
it.
Let's
No,
get
Okay, hold
into
on,
it.
guys. Hold on. Okay, so Edgar just came. We weren't expecting him to show up. Thank you for being here, bro. I'm glad you're here. We're gonna have to stop at this section and edit the next part because we have to plug his microphone in and get him linked up. So we'll be right back. And
no, because I do have one.
and Edgar will be joining us mid episode. So we'll be right back, guys. See you in a second.
Cool.
Guys, Edgar is here. He popped in.
Hey.
He got off of work. He's here. Yo, what's up, homie? How you doing?
All right,
Good,
look,
good.
we already
Good.
filled you in before we record, so let's
Yeah.
get
Yeah.
into it.
All right.
Josh wants us to start getting into the shit that we fucking don't like.
Oh.
Halloween Ends.
Hey.
He said,
No,
"Hey,
Eric,
that's a
you
good
know.
movie."
No. You
No,
know
no.
you don't fucking like Halloween
No,
Ends, okay?
That was my fucking.
That's my
top-
problem.
No, and I think a lot of the times this is going to be like horror movies. We're gonna have
Yeah,
similar
yeah.
opinions.
Okay,
So-
Except
yeah.
me, I'm gonna like.
Of course,
get on you
yeah.
guys.
So, Josh, are you familiar? Have you seen the requel trilogy?
I haven't seen that one. No.
I'm not,
Not
just so
the
I know
one.
Josh knows as much. I'm not the biggest horror movie fan. I like more like I don't like slasher movies or like anything that messes around with like paranormal demonic stuff unless we're killing those things. That stuff is good. But I like more when it comes to horror, I like more like zombies, vampires, monsters
That
type
kind of
shit and like psychological horror. That's my kind of horror.
Alright,
Personally. So oh yeah, I love Goosebumps. Have you seen the new show?
I want to.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's good. It's really
I'm
good.
excited
It's
for
really good. I like it. Yeah, it's
I
well
had to
done.
throw it out there.
It's well done. It's well
All right,
done.
So Halloween
yeah.
Ends. Maurice is not familiar. Josh is not familiar, but
Yeah.
me and Edgar are. It started off great, right, with 2018.
Yes.
Kills, you and I enjoyed,
Mm-hmm.
but Ends is when they started to do things a little bit different.
Oh, yeah.
So
Different as in bad?
yeah,
Okay,
definitely
all right,
wasn't bad.
all right.
So Kills, Ends, right? Spoilers for you guys. I don't know if you care about the Halloween movies or the whatever.
I know what I'm getting myself into.
So
Yeah, okay, good.
spoilers for all this shit. You probably should have said it in the beginning of the podcast. But Ends picks up, was it 5 years?
4.
4 years after Kills. You had all this momentum going into Kills where we thought Michael was victorious. He killed Laurie's daughter. He killed nearly half the fucking town. He killed Tommy.
Yeah.
And we see at the end Laurie is gonna go fucking hunt Michael down. They killed that whole fucking momentum,
Yes.
and then it picks up 4 years after.
Mm-hmm.
Michael is nowhere to be seen. Everyone is going on with their lives, and apparently, there's gonna be a copycat Michael Myers, which was kind of teased.
I did hear about that.
Yeah.
and I did hear a lot of people were
upset
about that.
Yeah.
And that's what sucks about like social media, YouTube is you're guaranteed to be spoiled.
Yeah.
No matter what. If
Whenever
you-
something new comes out, you gotta stay off.
gotta
that
jump
shit.
on it.
Like
Yeah.
if I think that trend was like especially true when Force Awakens came out. Oh, Black Jesus, that movie was spoiled for me like 10 times before I even saw it, and I'm just like I can't do this anymore.
So yeah,
Like,
so you have Corey, who is going to be the new Michael Myers, and the whole concept with Ends was that even though evil is dead or is gone, it still finds a way to
manifest.
infect
Yeah.
the people of the town, which is a good concept.
that is, yeah.
But you bring in this character who you want to attach to and be like, oh shit, he's a serial killer. By like halfway through the movie, you want to be shocked that
So-
you finally see this.
So Halloween is obviously, it's been so many sequels,
So many timelines and
so many
shit.
timelines.
Yeah.
It's confusing.
Yeah, but there's obviously more bad than there is good.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Where do you guys rank Halloween ends and
Ends,
kills?
it's not the worst.
both of them,
Oh,
all of them. Like would you say Halloween and then
How many are there?
How many are there in total?
12.
13, right?
12?
12, 13,
12?
yeah.
Oh my god.
This one would probably be like
it has
maybe
to be
number 10, number 9.
really because a lot of the
You
because
know?
like
Because
some
it's
of the
not
other ones
the,
were
the,
really
the,
bad.
the thing is that with Ends is that like it's not completely terrible, right? I see a lot of good in it. The John Carpenter score fucking fantastic. Cinematography, huge fan of the cinematography from Kills 2018 and Ends.
Mhm.
It's just the dialogue felt very odd for certain characters, like they did a 180 for them, where it's like not in their character at all. They made Michael, which is the thing that you want to see with Ends, is Laurie versus Michael. And you don't get that for like the last 10 minutes.
Mhm.
Do you think
Yeah.
a lot of these trilogies when they finish, right?
Mhm.
Halloween, the Dark Knight trilogy,
The Matrix.
The Matrix.
Mhm.
Do you think is a lot of the times directors, writers, they get stumped because of the pressure that they receive from fans?
No, you nailed
It's
it on
hard
the
to
head.
conclude a
Like,
trilogy, man.
It is.
It
No, you nailed it on the
really,
head.
really is.
Because
yeah.
with Halloween, Edgar can attest to it too. They had multiple writers. With each one, more writers came on, more ideas, more like just everything.
Just
felt
more mess.
conflicted.
That's why
It
it's like,
wasn't consistent for the
Yeah.
entire trilogy. You know.
fans definitely do ruin a lot of things because, you know, with social media,
Mhm.
Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, you know, we are
TikTok.
TikTok. We
Yeah.
can blast so many things to the point where the pressure of a director, you know, YouTubers. There's a lot of
Mhm.
YouTubers out there that they have the pressure of wanting to bring out the right content, but they can't because of the negativity.
Mhm.
You know, people talk a lot of shit on these things. So it just makes me wonder, like, is it really a bad movie because of the pressure of the fan service?
Well,
and so
no,
forth?
it's not even that, Josh. I don't think, because there are a lot of fan servicey moments throughout that trilogy. I just feel like 2018 ended on a conclusive note where they're like, you don't need to make Kills. But obviously with like studios and like corporations, like, you got to make more.
Yeah, it's
You
all
gotta
about
do
that money.
Kills. Yeah, it's all about the
that
money.
money.
And I feel like they shoot themselves in the foot with 2018, right?
Yeah, like I didn't even know they were gonna make a trilogy. I
don't think
I
they
was,
even knew that they were making a fucking trilogy.
No, yeah,
I was satisfied how it ended, right?
Me too.
But I guess you even said if they made money, yeah, we're
Which obviously they was gonna make a lot of fucking money.
look. I went deep down with this shit. Okay, that's how
Uh-huh.
I love this trilogy. So like you both agree that Corey should have been introduced a long time ago
Yeah, or had his own spin-off or
or
something.
something. I don't mind them passing the torch him
Uh-huh.
for being the new Michael or whatever, but they did it so poorly the way they did it. It's like
Not to mention the fact that they were shooting these movies back to back. with
Kinda,
no room to breathe.
Mhm.
No, like, you know. I feel like that.
Yeah,
added
back to
it.
back shooting can
See-
be a blessing and a curse.
I listened to
Definitely.
the commentary with the director, and he had all these ideas for
Mhm.
like for the Halloween Ends,
Yeah.
and I didn't see none of it in this.
None of it pay off?
Yeah,
Yeah.
not pay off, but I didn't see anything that he said it was going to be on film.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, it was supposed to be Michael and Laurie's story, but
Yeah.
they fucking like
They pivoted for sure.
yeah. So you know, I didn't mind how he grew old. I didn't mind how the way they killed him, and
Yeah.
I was it just it didn't lead anywhere. You
I
know,
like how we got this fucking music playing. in the background.
No
You know?
payoff. Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I was gonna come in here if that was my
Halloween Ends.
you know, it was Halloween Ends.
That's I think that's a movie that I just
Look, even fucking Jamie Lee Curtis came out before it came.
it's like it's gonna ruffle some feathers, you know.
it's like, and that was like a
Like a
sign, right?
yeah.
So yeah, I don't know what else you want to say about.
I mean, okay, Josh, go ahead.
oh, he's seen
You
it?
have some movies you want to talk about? Or-
Josh wanted to hear me talk about the movies on my list that I actually don't like that had great concept, bad movie.
Well, I wanna hear
so,
what Josh
So
has to
after
say.
that, you know, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead, Josh.
What's some what?
So
offend us,
I
please.
know you guys are waiting for one specific movie. I'll actually hold off on that real quick. Yeah,
Breathe
Edgar.
angst into the mic.
The Edgar is like waiting to blow up on me. Actually, I think Edgar is waiting for Alberto to blow up on me.
Yeah. That's usually how it works on
right.
Two Bros. Yeah.
So overrated, letdown.
Hmm.
Okay, Josh
Good-
Whedon's
good
Justice
concept.
League.
Justice League.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Okay, I was gonna be like, wait.
Backtracking. Joss Whedon's Avengers.
The original Avengers, the first one?
First Avengers.
Good concept,
movie.
bad execution. You're saying?
Yes. Absolutely.
Please tell me why.
Okay. So let me ask you guys one question. I love questions tonight.
Yeah, of
What
course. You're the
made-
questions guy. You're the
What
questions guy.
made Avengers so great?
The first one? The original one?
The first one.
I think it comes down to the fact that we finally get all these superheroes.
Build up.
It was the build-up,
It's
right?
never been done.
You had the
before.
first Avenger, Thor, Hulk, Iron Man, and then they all came
Yeah.
together.
Yeah. And think about it, right? A lot of these movies pre-Avengers were not that great. Okay, Iron Man was a sleeper. It was a gem. I loved it. If you look at the backstory of it, how there was no script, it was all ad-libbing. They don't know what they were doing. They would just, we're shooting, and then we're gonna this is the plot, blah blah blah. Amazing movie. Iron Man 2, garbage.
Yeah, not great.
Not
Not
that
great.
great. Studio interference. Kevin Feige wanted to go a specific way.
Yeah.
Right.
So forth. Thor. Let's be honest. No one gives a fuck about Thor.
If I'm being real, I mean,
no one
I
gives a fuck about Thor.
I hate to be the odd man out. Oh no, I don't. I am the odd man out. Fuck it. I'm gonna say what I want. I do like the way they did Thor and Thor: The Dark World as opposed to the new Thor. I hate what they've done with Thor in the MCU now.
What?
I really,
Definitely
really do.
not taken serious. I agree with you on
I
that.
don't like how Thor is.
So
an
you don't
idiot.
like the direction from Ragnarok? Love and
I
Thunder?
do like Ragnarok, although I do feel like that was kind of the beginning of the end for Thor. I don't like what they did with him in Love and Thunder, and I hated him in What If. I do have to say I don't like and the reason I say that, I do like Thor. I don't like the fact, and this is a bit of a tangent, I'm sorry. I don't like the fact that every single MCU character now, not all of them, but a lot of them have to be the comedian in order to be relatable. Not everyone is funny.
Agree.
Okay.
Not everyone is funny.
agree with
Okay, Thor, okay, like Captain America, he can be funny. But imagine if Captain America was literally just a comedian all the time.
Shooting one-liners.
Exactly. And so I think the punchline of every joke in the MCU now is that Thor's an idiot. I don't like that.
Sure.
So I will say I appreciate the original Thor and Thor: The Dark World because Thor was actually his character. So I will say that.
My
I
problem
will say
with
that.
every
know.
pre-Avengers and even after Avengers is, and we've talked about this, is every Marvel movie is the same.
Yeah.
It's about some gung ho great individual.
I don't
that gets
completely agree, but
humbled,
you've got a point. You've
that
got
gets
a point.
humbled, and
Yeah.
then they go up against a villain who is a clone of who they are. That is all pre-Avenger. That's all Marvel movies. And then Avengers. Let's talk about.
Okay, I
Avengers.
was gonna want to know.
So this
why-
is the one you're talking about. That's overrated. The original Avengers, the first one,
very first one.
Yeah.
And then we go up to Avengers, right? Everyone is hyped up. Everyone's excited. And then I remember going into this movie and I was like, "What is so great about this movie? It's very simple. The costumes, the special effects were mediocre. Okay, the dialogue was good. I appreciate Josh Whedon's dialogue. A lot of plot holes.
Mhm.
You have Thor who, how am I gonna get back to Earth? The bridge is gone, and it's like, oh,
The bridge is
Allfather
back. Yeah.
conjured up so much energy to come back, and that didn't make any sense. It was a very, for a big movie, quote unquote big movie, it felt very small. I felt like they were in one room.
See, that's how I feel about The Purge. That's how I feel about The Purge.
Okay.
So
it didn't feel like this big budget movie. I get it that it was the first phase, whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
But that movie was just on a hype train, and don't get me wrong, it was executed well. But if you ask me, hey, top 5 greatest comic book movies of all time,
The Avengers wouldn't be on
is
there.
Not on that list. I wouldn't even put it as top 10.
Okay, I mean,
Go, Albert, go.
Okay, hold on.
feel-
Before you go, because I know we're gonna have some hot takes on this because we're Marvel fans. I don't fully agree, but
That's fair.
I get where you're coming from. I do. I definitely do, because I gotta say it, guys. Loki is a weak ass villain. I'm sorry.
Super weak.
I'm sorry, but he is. I was talking to my friends about this before. Villains, a good movie villain should be able to captivate me instantly, right? Because every hero is equally as good. Every good story needs an equally as good villain, because without that there's no conflict, right? Or at least the conflict's not that great, not that interesting. When I think about Marvel villains, like some of my favorites, Thanos from Infinity War, Killmonger from Black Panther, pretty much all of Spider-Man's villains, right? Like
Thanos is no different than.
I disagree.
Opinion.
We're not going to get into that.
We're going to get into it.
I'm not going to get into that.
Because think about that.
So no,
they all can justify what they did for the greater good.
But that doesn't mean that I'm not saying they're right.
Villain.
I'm not saying they're right, but I think Thanos' motivations are way better than Loki's. Honestly, I mean, look at overpopulation is a problem. Look at overpopulation is a very real problem. It's a very real problem. And even though, I mean, come on, and if you look at world history, man. Like maybe Hitler thought. I mean, I know this is a terrible thought, but I mean, he did do it. Maybe Hitler thought, hey, if I wipe these people out, we'll have a little more room in the future. It's a shitty thing to do. Genocide is wrong, but guess what? Joseph Stalin, Adolf Hitler, these people have done these things, and they've done it because they believed, hey, let's get rid of these people so that we can have a little bit more, right? That's a very real problem. And Thanos came from a planet where things were cool, right? Everything was fine. And then after a while, he starts to notice, hey, these people are coming in, these refugees, these people from this or from over here, hey, these people are coming in. Mm-hmm. They're fucking shit up for us. We got to get rid of them. Now, genocide, while wrong, while evil, while bad, I would say I don't agree with what he did, but I would say compared to Loki, and not only that, I think that Thanos was a layered character because, one, they made him the main character in Infinity War, which I did like that a lot. And also, I think he's a layered character because he had a code. We actually learned something about him as the story went on. For example, watch Infinity War, you notice he only kills people who he thinks are cowards. Right? He didn't kill Star-Lord because Star-Lord actually had the will to fight him. He tried to shoot him. He said, hey, I like you. I'll fuck with you, bro. We're moving on. He didn't kill anyone who actually stood up to him, but he killed the people who he thought were cowards. Loki, for example, right? Like instantly, pretty much. So we learned, even when he had the fight with Iron Man, he's like,
Loki's a crybaby bitch.
Yeah, he is. He is straight up. That's
going back to the whole Avengers,
straight up.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So, and when he stabbed Iron Man, he's like, I respect you, Stark. I hope they remember you. So Thanos, in my opinion, he had layers. We learned about him as he went on.
Let's also remember in
mean?
Infinity War, the reason why they kept Iron Man alive is because of the agreement that Doctor Strange had with Thanos. So
yeah,
it wasn't
that's true.
out of the respect. But I do agree with you. Loki was obviously.
Yeah. Well, anyway, like I'm sorry, I didn't mean to go off. Well, I did mean to go off on that. I'm sorry, but I think Thanos is awesome. But anyway, when I think about Loki's a weak ass villain, he is. Like, I was talking to my friends about this, and they were saying, like, there's the new Loki show, and they were saying, oh well, if you watch the backstory of this, that, and the other, like, look, if it takes me over 10 years to convince me that you're a good villain, you're not a good villain. Straight up, you're just not, because it's taken way too long. If you didn't captivate me right away, you're not a good villain. So that's the first thing. Second thing I will say about the Avengers, I do personally think that Infinity War and Endgame are better than the first one.
I mean, that's obvious.
Yeah, I think
that's obvious.
They are better than the first one.
I would argue and say
they were better than the first one. And in retrospect to the new Marvel movies, I do think the original Avengers it comes off pretty cheesy. Not like in a good way in some parts. Like, I do think that I don't fully agree, but Josh, I get where you're coming from. I do definitely get where you're coming from.
I think Age of Ultron is better than the first.
I agree with that too. But in
low key, yeah.
To the Avengers, though, you were saying that you think that it's like too small for like this huge event with all these superhero characters.
Yeah.
I think the opposite. I feel like I enjoy the fact that it was such a easy plot to follow,
like small scale.
Even if some people were like, like, what the fuck is this? Give me
you
something.
Appreciated it being more down to earth.
Yeah, I enjoyed that.
Do you think it would have been so good, like critically well received, and the hype would have been so good if there was no pre-Marvel movies before that?
No, because they wouldn't have earned it. Like, how DC's been trying to catch up with Justice League, like I do like Zack Snyder's cut, but in comparison to how Marvel actually built that up, they didn't earn it, so they had to catch up. You know what I mean?
But that's just the thing, though.
So.
I laugh at a lot of comic book fans that love the Guardians of the Galaxy, that love Thor, that love even Captain America. A lot of Marvel fans.
We're stepping into territory now.
Absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely. I'm gonna say it. When you talk to a lot of comic book fans, you know they actually appreciate more of Fantastic Four, Spider-Man, X-Men.
Mm-hmm.
You know, these are legitimate characters that comic book fans appreciate. Obviously, from a cinema point, it makes more sense to bring these guys together and so forth. But I wasn't excited for an Iron Man movie. I really wasn't.
Yeah, not really. Not anyone was excited.
Nobody was excited for it. But that's just the thing is we're talking about a movie that was built up and did so well solely on hype. On hype. And that is the credit that it deserves for having it, but it's not it's not cinema. So when Martin Scorsese comes out and says like Marvel movies is not cinema, to an extent, I actually agree with him. I agree with them. No, don't get me wrong. There are certain movies that I think that cinema, right? Heath Ledger's Joker, holy shit, deserves an Oscar, right? To another level and all that.
I think
stuff.
that statement's more of a generalization. I think
to what
when he
extent
says
do you
that,
agree with Josh?
What do you mean?
So you said you agree with Martin Scorsese. Like, how so then? How so do you agree that it's not?
I'm gonna just come out there and say it. Martin Scorsese has some good films, but a lot of them are overrated, in my opinion.
I agree with that.
Martin Scorsese's not great to begin with.
Timing is everything.
Yeah,
I think we've been aching for comic book movies. They were obviously
we were, especially in that time when Avengers came out.
You look at history of comic book movies. Okay, Christopher Reeve's Superman.
Yeah.
Right, gem
in the 70s. Yeah.
Tim Burton's Batman.
Blade, the original Blade.
Blade.
Yep.
Okay, and then out of nowhere, like Sony buys Spider-Man.
Sam Raimi Spider-Man. Yeah.
Fox buys X-Men. 2000 X-Men comes out.
Yeah.
Sam Raimi's
Spider-Man
comes out, right? And you love this stuff because finally, oh my God, my heroes are
they're finally on screen. Yeah.
And then finally the studio's like, we're gonna take all these characters, do a movie one after another, and then we're gonna have them join. We're gonna create a cinematic universe. Is pretty much what we're gonna do. It's just they're just on that bus. They're just it's a cash grab. I hope I'm making sense.
So you feel like it's more about clout than popularity than it is actually about the movie.
Absolutely.
The movie.
Well, what do you have to say? I mean,
yeah.
I know. I agree with some things that he said
about the Avengers, or
no, like when Iron Man came out, I don't want to see an Iron Man. Give me the Spider-Man, but like. I noticed as recently like those characters as Iron Man, Thor, like there weren't great stories back in the 60s for those characters.
Yeah.
So they kind of made out their own fucking like.
You kind of have to though, because not everything in comic books is going to translate to film well.
True.
Yeah.
True.
Like Brian Michael Bendis run for like Iron Man. Jason Aaron's Thor. Those are great fucking stories I can see in cinema, but they haven't done it
yet.
Yeah.
And we already talked about this. I think just you and me. Like, you have to have a team behind it, kind of like the Russo brothers. Those fuckers know what they're doing.
Oh yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Yep.
Where are they at right now in comic book movies in the Marvel universe?
I mean, I think
their own thing.
Honestly, I think they've left their mark. I think they've left their mark.
Wow!
Oh, wow!
Did you see that shot, guys?
Damn!
Look, the hype is done.
For Zach, yeah, you're right.
No, for Marvel movies. Marvel movies, guys.
They are on the decline right now. They are on the decline
because
heavy.
We got fed our needs.
Yeah. No, that I agree with for sure.
Yeah.
No. Then that's why I wanted to talk about the MCU, but we're kind of on it now.
Like Thanos in the comics, he's just solely to please death.
Yeah.
So it was kind of cool to see a different version of him in the film, but I can see that too. Like they should have picked someone else. like I don't want to go to like the basics, like Doctor Doom or Galactus.
Doctor Doom is fucking.
Dude.
I think would have been great.
Sorry to bring
Everyone
it up,
keeps
like,
talking about that.
Yeah, everybody
you know.
says like Thor's a fucking clown and shit. Like to reboot his fucking like if they're gonna do a reboot, do Donny Cates' run.
Immortal Thor.
Thor,
yeah,
and he becomes like Galactus' fucking right hand man.
That's fucking great.
Well, I think the problem too is the studio studio.
Yeah,
you
I
know,
think
like
that's
Fox
the
owned
big
all
thing, yeah.
Fantastic Four, Galactus, Doctor Doom, which kind
Yeah,
of ruined it.
and you know Disney wants everything, so you know.
No doubt about that.
So,
Not about that.
kind of go ahead.
I just want to say something. Like he was saying, it's simple. Like
The Avengers.
Yeah, what's wrong with that? Like there's some simple stories in comic books too, and they're fucking turn out to be.
That's
great.
the thing that I think I liked about the Avengers. That it for the first time felt like a comic book.
I don't disagree with you on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
like
it was
that's
it
what
was
I
pulled from the
enjoyed the
covers.
most,
I
yeah.
agree.
Yeah,
agree.
I'm with you on that too. Yeah,
You
for
know?
sure.
In defense
for sure.
of the, because I mean you're right. In repeat viewings, right, the Avengers.
It's not as good as the other
Loki's
ones.
Not great. There's
Yeah,
some
no.
cheesy like dialogue for sure, but I
Ven-
still love it for.
Avengers was like
what-
92% on Rotten Tomatoes. Why?
If I could go back, retrospectively, if I were to reappraise that movie, probably wouldn't give it a 92%.
No,
I think for the time,
For the
that
time,
was
yeah.
honestly that was the best thing that
because
we
you
had
didn't
for
see
the time.
anything like that.
For the time, that was the best thing they had. But I think they
But-
won up the Avengers
that's
movies
why
as they
you
went
can't
on.
go through
you know?
like Rotten Tomatoes and all these critics because again, it's.
That's why I don't value it, honestly.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't value it at all. Because
it
you
gets
have
a
to develop
pass
your own
because
opinion.
It's original.
Right, because okay, even like we were talking about that with the Black Widow movie, right? Like which I hated, and you guys know that. It has I think it has like 80% on Rotten Tomatoes, but the audience score is like maybe like a 40 or a 50.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, you know, I don't.
I got a question for Josh here.
Yeah. Oh shit. Here we go. We need to move on from the MCU after this, guys. But
Yes.
Josh, I will tell you my next one on my
Yes.
list. Yeah.
What is?
What do you think about Kang as the next? Like,
Oh yeah, we're not positioned of we're in agreement of this.
Well, I
you
mean,
already talked about it.
I
No,
mean,
I don't-
with the whole Jonathan Majors thing, is it even possible at this point?
I think so. I think they.
Yeah. I mean, there
he's
hasn't been a
found
verdict yet,
innocent
so
and
I
all
don't
that
know.
stuff.
Yeah.
What do
I
you
don't
think
know.
of Kang as the next Thanos level villain for the? Can't buy it into it, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to
Okay.
expect.
No, you're right.
I
You're
have no
100%
idea.
right.
Did you guys like Quantum Realm?
I wouldn't even
seen
watch
it.
it. That was the movie where
Wait,
we're just like,
Quantumania?
you
Are you
can't-
talking about
Quantumania,
Ant-Man?
I mean?
I
Yeah.
I
it
watched
wasn't great.
Guardians 3 because I watched.
He
the
got
first
killed
one,
by
second one,
ants,
yeah,
so
but-
like that wasn't cool.
Yeah.
So
What was I gonna say? They were talking about villains and how there should be a build up. You introduced the big one in a show with
Mhm.
Loki, okay?
Mhm.
And you introduced them jokingly eating a fucking apple and shit.
Yeah.
Okay, that's why I didn't take him
Just
serious.
Yeah, I agree with that.
yeah, and I think in Quantumania, he got killed by ants in Quantumania,
But that's
right?
not even the point. The
Look,
point
this
is
is like
that
he
you
died
made
in a
him
lame
and
way.
Ant-Man
Like that
fucking
was a
dumb.
bad introduction. Look, this is.
I don't think he's ever been introduced like that too. Because to be honest with you, like I was really familiar who Kang was, and then
Mhm.
it took me a while to figure out that was Kang.
Yeah, because he was like the key.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See?
I was like, who is
Like,
this
who
guy?
is this
Yeah.
fucking weirdo?
I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You know, and then finally, like I remember, like I was so confused, and I googled it. I was like, who was this guy? Who was
Yeah,
Kang
yeah,
the
yeah.
Who he who
Conqueror? I was like,
remains.
what?
Okay.
That's not. Yeah.
Yeah,
Look,
yeah.
that was a bad build up. I mean, we already brought it up like 2 days ago. Negan in the show was like that was a good tension build up until the moment that they showed it and everything.
With the saviors
That's
and
how you
everything.
introduce
Yeah.
a fucking villain.
Yeah.
You know,
I feel like because you didn't know who Negan was. You only heard about who he was.
We built with the saviors for like a whole season, pretty much. Yeah.
You know?
So
And they did the same thing with Thanos. Is like he only showed up in post credit scenes.
yeah.
Briefly in Guardians.
mm-hmm.
Granted, I feel like they could have probably made it a little more stronger with like his development, but still,
I think because I think they didn't really know what they were going to do with him until Infinity War came. But once they came out the gate, I think they knocked it out the
feel like
park
they don't know
personally.
what to do.
So
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree with
Yeah.
that.
Which
Yeah.
is-
I
This is
think they
why-
had a
oh, man.
plan,
mm-hmm.
and then
Yeah.
they did the plan.
things have been falling apart recently.
And
Yeah.
Now they're trying to figure out. There's like rumors. I was actually reading
Yeah.
something that they want to do X-Men versus Avengers instead of the
Oh, yeah,
whole
okay.
Secret Wars.
Secret Wars. God
Um,
damn it.
do Jonathan Hickman's Secret Wars, and you would that would be fucking cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stop fucking around and
Stop fucking around and give me what I want. I knew he was gonna say that.
All right. Well, to get back on track, let's,
Yeah.
I think we talked about the MCU enough. We have to.
Yeah. Okay.
save
So
that for another
Josh
episode.
wanted to hear a movie that I have on my list that like great concept bad movie that I actually don't like. So let me see here. One that I don't like. We were talking about this one recently. Okay, this one might be a bit of a hot take. Love the first Kill Bill. Awesome movie. Love it. Kill Bill Volume 2. I don't like that movie at all. I watched that one recently. It is boring. It's boring. I don't understand how you can go from such a cool movie. The first Kill Bill is awesome. It's awesome. I love the action. I love the story. Even the way, because like who's this person, like the guy who shot the bride at the beginning of the movie, like that's the one at the beginning of the first Kill Bill, that's who she's hunting or whatever. What is his name?
I think it's Thanos. I think is what it is.
No, not Thanos. It might be played by Josh Brolin, but you
I get it all mixed up.
But anyway, at the beginning of Kill Bill, like the bride gets killed and like she gets shot in the head, and she's haunting the guy who shot her in the second movie. The way he dies is it's so lame. It is so lame. It's like she hits like a pressure point and he like passes out because he's old or something like
That's
that.
fucking awesome.
And it's
I
like
know.
no,
I love that ending
no,
so much.
it's whack. And then the other like there was this one cool fight scene where she's in like a trailer and she like rips this chick's eye out. That shit was awesome. But like that was
the first one.
No, that wasn't. This was the second one. This was the second
This
one.
was the first one.
It was.
Yeah.
This, I'm pretty sure
the
it was.
chick with the patch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was in the first
That was in
one.
the first one.
No, so I'm pretty positive this was the second one because she's in
Trying to
it.
remember.
I haven't seen the Kill Bills. In a
She
while,
because I think the great chick guys talking about she's in it, but then she returns in the second movie, and they fight again, and then she rips her eye out. But
Actually, maybe you're right.
yeah. So she returns in the
yeah.
second movie and she rips her eye out. That scene is awesome. But compared to the first Kill Bill, like that was the only cool action scene in the entire movie. And the pacing up until that point, maybe in retrospect, maybe like the ending as a like with her killing the old man, maybe there was some good payoff in that. That probably was somewhat enjoyable. But I feel like compared to the first movie, like the pacing and the action and the story was just like such a downgrade. Like I watched that movie probably a couple times when it came out. Well, not when it came out because I have both the movies. I watched it a couple times and I'm just like, this is not nearly as good as the first one. It's like it's so boring. It is so boring.
Correct me if
It's
I'm
so
wrong,
boring.
But didn't he film that movie all in one sitting?
I have
think
no
so.
idea.
No,
Did he?
yeah,
I think he did. Because actually, it's one of the like
All in one.
few
What do you mean by
movies-
that? Like all in one sitting?
Yeah, like
Or like he shot both of them.
yeah.
Oh, back to back. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
yeah. I got
Because
you.
I remember
Right.
I thought Kill Bill Volume 2 came out like 6 months after the first.
It came
I
out pretty
also
recently
think-
after the second one. I mean, after the first one for sure. Yeah,
I have to disagree, man.
that's fair. But I did not like it.
It's
I have a couple Quentin Tarantino movies on this list too. Who that's also pretty controversial. But I
Oh,
did
man.
not enjoy Volume 2 at all.
I don't
Yeah.
know, kind of like on his side, but at the same time, I'm on the fence because I haven't.
You haven't watched it in a
I
while.
haven't seen the
Yeah.
second one in
Yeah.
a while.
Yeah.
So I
See,
guess
the first one is it's so much.
It's
memorable.
badass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
See, that's the other thing too. If I got to be honest, like I don't remember other than the stuff that I mentioned. I don't remember very much from Volume 2 at all. But when I think of Volume 1, I'm thinking like her escaping from the hospital, getting her toe to move, crazy 88 fight. That shit was awesome. Even the fight with her and Vivica A. Fox. Come on now, that shit was dope. And he's like, I know one day you're gonna come kill me and all that stuff. Like the knife behind the cereal box. Like, yeah, the first Kill Bill is great, but the second one, I'm just no. I'm like, I don't like this.
I want to say I'm on the fence because I haven't seen it.
So Josh,
He's
why,
half and
why,
half. He's
why
half
do
and
you
half.
disagree, Josh? What is it that?
I if my memory serves me right, I believe the pacing is actually similar with one another, you know, and this whole thing is this entire movie, Kill Bill 1, Kill Bill 2, and why I say the pacing is so similar is you're waiting for that build up for her to meet Bill.
Okay, so obviously that's his name. I'm stupid. Okay, the old man is Bill. Duh,
Motherfucker,
okay,
you don't
yeah.
even know the villain of the
Yeah, okay.
and you saying this
So,
is a piece of shit movie?
No, it's Bill.
Jesus,
It's
man.
Bill. It's Bill. It's Bill. Duh. Okay. Yeah.
So go ahead.
Yeah.
No, but that's what it kind of leads up to, right? And you don't. man, it's been so long for me to argue about this. So
So you're kind of
it.
like with Edgar a little bit on the one to see it.
But
yeah.
you just know you don't agree with that.
I don't disagree. Yeah, I can't. Maybe I have to watch it again. But
See, you're kind of like you might have to watch it again too. Yeah.
I will say like the first one is absolutely more memorable.
See, that's my thing. I think that everything that the bride goes through in the first film, once you get to the action, like this is awesome.
But the
you know
first
what I mean?
one was more of an introduction.
Yeah, that's
to
true.
the bride.
That's true.
And then the second one was more of like,
Let's get into it.
Yeah, let's get into it.
Yeah.
Here's the meat and the potatoes. And then you find out that her daughter's still alive, and
yeah.
I think you learned that her and Bill had a relationship.
Yeah.
With one another.
Yeah, they did.
That played into it
Before she got married, of course.
Yeah.
So.
And I don't even think about it as two movies.
You kind of just blend them all together.
It's one movie, and
it's like Insidious.
It's like Insidious. Yeah, there's a lot of movies that are unnecessarily sequels.
Yeah,
this is one of them.
for sure.
Man,
maybe that's another problem with it. Then like I mean, obviously you can't put them all in one. That'd be way too long. But yeah, not like when I think about just how memorable the first Kill Bill is, how much I like the action, the build up, the story, and the pacing. I feel like the first Kill Bill earned it. The second one, I'm not sure it did.
But it's also like one of those like movies that pay homage to old martial art movies, like the style of it.
Yeah. But see, sometimes the pacing on those is not great either.
They're not.
But
you don't.
That's the problem.
Don't watch those for the story. It's more of like the art of the martial arts.
I would argue that there's martial arts movies that follow a similar archetype but have a better consistent not just consistent action but consistent consistent story and consistent pacing as well.
Well, it's always recycled story, right?
Yeah, but I mean, you do it in your own way. So I think that does come down to personal preference and style too.
Do you
know what I mean?
Think it's not as good because it could still be refreshing.
Yeah, it can.
I feel like nowadays most movies all have kind of similar ideas.
Right.
Yeah. Just as long as it's refreshing.
As long as it's done in a unique way, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys like Rumble in the Bronx? Jackie Chan?
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
Do you guys do you guys go into Rumble in the Bronx and be like, man, I solely watch it for the story?
No,
dude.
No, it's a martial arts movie.
It's a martial arts movie. And I appreciated the story of Kill Bill. But the fact of it, the respect of, she wore the blue jumpsuit for respect.
The yellow jumpsuit in the first one too.
Of Bruce Lee.
Yeah.
The ridiculous fight sword scene with all the hundreds of people in
Crazy
the
88. Yeah, that's what they're called. The Crazy 88. Yeah.
That's like a. On top of it, it's not just martial arts, but that's like an anime brought to life.
Yeah, anime and like kind of grindhouse cinema too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That it was so unique for its time.
Yeah.
And it was an American movie too.
Yeah.
And that's why I like Quentin Tarantino as well is because that he's very vintage in the stories that he tells and the actions and the scenes that he does. It's very old cinema that you appreciate. Django and Unchained.
Oh, I love
is,
Django
is
Unchained.
An 1980s Western, 1970s.
In Hollywood as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
he calls it that one a revisionist Western. So like it's a Western, but not with a traditional story. Yeah. And I love me some Westerns. So
you and me both, my friend. And thank God.
So.
Thank God Will Smith was not in that movie.
Oh,
that
can we agree on
that would not have worked. That would not have worked at all. I mean, I like Will Smith, but that would not have worked. That would not have worked.
From The Wire. What's his name? He was supposed to be Django.
Oh, you're talking about Omar?
The Omar character.
The Omar character?
Yeah. You don't see him as Django neither?
It's Jamie Foxx.
And I'm not a Jamie Foxx fan. I don't think he's that great of an actor.
He played Django. He played Django. As my people say, he played that role. Girl, he played that role.
But there was supposed to be a show or a movie of Django and Zorro together based on the comics.
Cool, yeah.
Oh, that sounds cool.
That seems interesting.
I like me some Zorro. And I love Antonio Banderas. So that yeah.
That would be cool. I'm just
that
saying
would be great.
Just rumors out there.
That would be great.
Well,
that would be great.
What's another movie, Josh, that's on your list?
Come on, Josh.
I can go to another one of mine if you need me to, but yeah.
Say it.
Say it.
Go ahead.
Say it.
Before I go to the one that you guys want me to hear, I'm interested in your guys' thoughts on the Amazing Spider-Man. Actually, first.
No, I don't like.
It sucked. Let's go.
Good grief.
Wait, the one with Andrew Garfield.
Yeah,
right?
because I made a comment to you and you were
No.
like,
I think
I was talking about that specific movie, and you're
Yeah.
like, they're all garbage.
Yeah. Well, so here's what I will say. The Amazing Spider-Man both 1 and 2, yeah, garbage. Don't like them. But I will say, even though I do like, you know what? We've been over this. Go ahead. I don't like them. Move on. Move on. We've been over this. All
all right. Alberto, Edgar have been waiting for this for quite some time.
Go ahead.
I am not a fan of Matt Reeves, the Batman.
Okay. Yeah, you were talking about this. You were talking about this.
one.
You were talking about this. He said not this
I
one.
thought we were going to talk about Batman v Superman.
It would have been the
God.
opposite because he likes.
He
that.
likes that movie. Yeah.
That's why I kind of want to shit on it.
You guys can bring it up if you guys want.
No. Let's focus on his one. You guys have an whole episode
Okay,
for that.
The
Focus
Batman.
on that.
All right,
Yeah.
I've heard some of your complaints for why.
Is this what you're waiting for?
No, I was not
Alberto?
expecting that at all. I was
Oh,
just wanting
really?
to see what else was going to be on your list.
Oh man!
But since you're
this
bringing it
this
up-
is on the list.
I don't. We have talked about this one before. I don't fully agree with you because
That's fair.
I do like.
It is great.
Yeah,
it is a great movie.
Okay. So there we go. One of those. It's so be one of those cases of like a great movie that just wasn't for you.
Yeah, it's a great movie,
But it's just not for you.
but
It's not.
I
It
do
wasn't
not
you.
like it.
Okay, I got you. So
Yep.
I do think this movie is good. I think it's decent. But I have a lot of problems with it as well. So I'll probably agree with you with a decent amount of these points. I do think there's things that are great about it. For example, love the soundtrack. The soundtrack was awesome. Oh my God, we're not gonna illustrate that.
Come on, Albert.
Soundtrack was awesome. The scene with that car chase with him and the penguin.
That was
That
great.
shit was awesome.
Yeah,
that shit was
sure.
great. Also, Colin Farrell was the penguin. Come on now. Kid,
All right,
that
okay,
was-
look,
that was a
let's-
sleeper.
let's-
you
all
know?
right, look, let's go.
But yeah. Anyway, Josh.
Come on, Albert. Let's go,
what are your
motherfucker.
what are your thoughts on the Batman? And I probably will agree with you with a decent amount on the things you don't like.
No,
Go for it, Albert.
it's been done before.
Yeah,
Let's talk about it. So without the Dark Knight,
yeah, that's how I feel.
there would be no the Batman.
That's
We
true.
can agree on that.
That's true. That's very
an
true.
Easy point.
And I love
That
the
is
Dark
a
Knight.
very easy
Yeah,
point.
I get that. Yeah.
But I am so tired of a grounded superhero. Okay, and going back to your point about the Avengers, it was pulled from the comic book movies. I agree with you on that. I am so done with grounded. Like, give me a comic book Batman.
This is a comic book Batman, Josh. What are you talking about?
Okay,
What are
we're
you
in
talking
it.
It's
about?
grounded, bro. It is
Grounded?
more no,
Grounded.
I'm talking about more like if Batman lived in our time, like the Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Then you got the Dark Knight. You love the Dark Knight, and that's totally fine.
me
You
too.
love the Dark Knight too,
I do. I do.
too.
One of my favorite trilogies of
But
all
here's
time.
why I
yeah.
love Matt
yeah.
Reeves' Batman. It is straight from the fucking pages of Batman, the comic
No,
books.
it's
How
not.
do you not?
Disagree.
How do you disagree? For what reason? Why is it not accurate?
Was that the Riddler?
Yeah.
I'm talking about Batman.
No. Was that the Riddler?
Okay.
Yes or no? Was that the Riddler?
Yes.
Yes or no?
Yes.
That was the Riddler.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who's
So-
the Riddler to you? What are you fucking big hat? The king,
Yeah.
The king.
Yeah.
You want a goofy ass
Jim
fucking-
Carrey.
Oh,
Jim Carrey.
no,
No, I'm
no,
not
no,
talking
no,
about
no, no,
now
no,
the
no.
look of it.
No,
right?
no, no,
I'm
no,
just
no.
kidding. I'm
Okay.
kidding. The look of Jim Carrey
Okay.
is the Riddler, right? When I think of the Riddler, I think of Tim Cell. Tim Cell's Batman the Animated Series.
Okay,
Tim
yeah,
Cell
yeah.
is king.
Yeah,
okay?
yeah.
Okay.
Everything that he
The animated series is
brought
great.
out in the animated series, that is Batman to a T. Okay.
Was he goofy dressed in the animated series, or like not as much?
He was
like pretty much.
He
just
was
like that?
actually.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. He was very similar to how Jim Carrey looked in
Yeah.
Batman Forever.
Okay.
Now, over the top, I wasn't a fan of that.
You-
but,
so-
how he looked. Okay.
Okay.
So here's the thing too is
I'm just not sure that would have matched the world of that movie very well, though. Honestly.
For Josh, it would have, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. Like you have like Robert Pattinson Batman, and then you have Jim Carrey Joker. I'm like Jim Carrey Riddler. I don't know.
obviously, that's not what I want, and the seriousness of it, I appreciated.
Well, then what do you want, Josh?
Yeah, what is it?
It just has been done before. You know, and,
I
that
agree.
grounded.
that's how I
It has
feel
been
too.
done before.
It's been done before.
It's
been done
before.
better too.
It's been done
But
better.
you know what
Yeah,
has
yeah.
been done before? At least not since I would probably say Tim Burton's Batman is we haven't gotten a good Gotham City, and this is what this movie gives us.
I agree with that. There
sure.
are some elements
Yeah.
that I
If
appreciated.
there's one thing they always drive home is that Gotham is a shithole.
Yeah,
So-
I appreciated
Gotham
Gotham
was
City.
garbage
I
for me.
appreciated
Yeah.
the car, the vehicle, the
Yeah.
Batmobile.
I'm a stand up
right?
for a bit.
Was
guys.
not a
It's
fan of the
weird,
tank
but-
in Christopher Nolan's Batman. But the detective elements was from the comic books. Yes, you can say that.
I did like the detective stuff in that
Bruce
movie
Wayne
with the lens and
struggling
everything.
to figure out his identity between Bruce Wayne and Batman was great.
You're saying all good things
Absolutely.
about.
Yeah, no, but
Well, he said it was great. He just said it wasn't for him. Yeah.
But he's also saying it wasn't comic book accurate Batman, but
it
it had detective
You can well.
elements to it.
I guess that's not fair to always say. Me rethinking when I say that, right? Because Tim Burton's Batman was not
yeah.
pulled out of the comic books.
No, it was not.
Absolutely.
But it was good.
But it was
good.
great,
Yeah,
right?
so.
But it was also, you can argue and say that was more grounded.
Mhm.
You know, Batman Returns grounded. The Dark Knight trilogy grounded.
Yeah,
you know,
definitely, yeah.
Very grounded.
You know, give me a comic book movie, and that's where like I think I appreciated Zack Snyder a lot more, because Ben Affleck was a
Edgar's shaking
he
his
was
head.
a comic book accurate
Edgar's shaking
Batman.
his head
Not
hard
to
right
a
now.
T. There were definitely issues behind
Yeah.
it. You know,
The look, I would
the
give
look,
you, I would give you
the
the look.
feel. You know,
I would
like
give you the look.
what a lot of
but-
people don't understand is Batman didn't have a no kill rule.
Mhm.
Batman had a.
When did that get implemented then? Because they've
the
been.
Dark Knight trilogy.
Oh, really?
That's when that they started talking about it. They started saying it out loud.
Huh.
What a lot of people don't understand too.
But
in
does
the
that
Dark,
fundamentally change the way you view the character? Like, does it make it better if he isn't someone who doesn't kill? Do you want him to go full fledged and like I'm just gonna fucking?
I think Batman is not afraid to play with the gray area, test the waters. You know,
For sure.
You know, I think he's willing to make sacrifice for the better good. You know, if it was like, hey, Batman, if Superman dies to save the world, are you willing to give up your friend? And I think there would be a high chance, maybe not 100% chance, like he would do something like that. You know, he fucking, if you read the Tower of Babel comic book series, Justice League, you know, everyone, Ra's al Ghul is taking down the Justice League one by one solely by Batman's
contingency plan
yeah,
for everybody.
you know.
Yeah.
So like he is a fucked up individual to a sense, and I'm getting on a tangent, a little bit off subject. I apologize, but it has been done before. The
It just
Riddler
feels recycled.
the
to you.
Riddler was a recycled version of Heath Ledger's Batman. I felt like, you know, with obviously the rhymes.
Heath
and
Ledger's
things like,
Joker. You mean?
or Heath Ledger's Joker. I apologize.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know, but it's also hard to incorporate comic book to live action. Edgar had a good point on that earlier as well. So we have to make it realistic. But I
Wasn't your cup of tea.
wasn't my cup of tea,
Yeah,
man.
okay.
It was just too soon.
Too similar to the Dark Knight.
Too similar.
Yeah.
You know,
I
and,
don't know,
and
I can't agree with your points. The pacing, I'll give you that, right? Like you watch The Dark Knight, it doesn't feel like fucking 2 hours has passed. Versus the Batman, it feels like, all right, now it's starting to drag on a little.
Yeah, it is also
I'll give
like
you the
3
pacing
hours,
for
bro.
that.
Yeah.
But here's the thing
But-
too, is there's a lot of like things about the Dark Knight that isn't that great. You can nitpick the shit out of it. Like for example, the fight scenes.
It's
are
very hard to
terrible.
do though to nitpick The Dark Knight because there's
You can. I think
really
you can in some ways, and don't get me wrong. Yeah, I can just be some asshole and just nitpick the shit out of everything.
Yeah.
But how great it is, like, just overshadows the flaws of it. You know.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just, I don't know. It was just maybe too soon.
Too soon
After the Dark
Nolan
Knight series.
trilogy?
Yeah, you know, and I just want something different. And then they were like, yeah, we'll do something new. We'll just make it more detective oriented. And then we'll also do the Riddler supposed to, you know, the Joker.
It also doesn't help that the Joker was introduced at the end of the movie again. So Yeah.
In a deleted scene, right?
In a deleted scene, yeah. So.
Well, Edward, you've been quiet the whole time. What do you got?
Yeah, hate on me, guys.
Now, I like I said, I don't fully agree with Josh, but I get where he's coming from. I do agree that it has been done before, and I do have some nitpicks about it. But like I said, I think it's good, but I don't think it's great necessarily.
What do you think?
It's also 3 hours long, for no reason.
I don't agree. Look,
There's a lot of things in it that
it's-
drag.
When he meets Riddler in the interrogation room, Batman kind of fucked up in a way. He didn't catch that last clue or whatever, and then it flooded Gotham.
It shows that he's
still flawed.
learning.
He's still learning.
Yeah, I think that's what I liked about the movie. Is it started with him beating the shit out of all these like
Random
people,
criminals.
calling himself Vengeance, and
Mm.
he realizes at the end like
Didn't The
that's
Dark
not
Knight
who
do
I
that?
am. No,
Didn't he make poor judgment calls that,
like such as
like Rachel and
Well, no, I think
Like-
I don't think that was a.
I think that one because remember when in The Dark Knight when he was interrogating the Joker to figure out where Rachel and Harvey Dent was, I think, and I don't know if this is actually accurate to like what they were trying to do with the story. I think the Joker gave him the wrong addresses on purpose. So I think that he told him the opposite. Like he told him where Rachel is, that's where Harvey was, and where Harvey was, where Rachel was. So obviously he went to what he thought was Rachel's location, but then it actually wasn't. So I think he lied to him, and that's why that
So
happened.
you're saying you liked
You
it
know.
because they showed a Batman who's still learning.
He kind of had a little touch of
Because it was his first year being Batman, right? In
Frank
that movie.
Miller's
Yeah.
Year One.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So I
Year
like
one,
that.
yeah.
It kind of followed Scott Snyder's story, Year Zero with Riddler.
A little bit, yeah.
That would have been cool to see that one, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Jesus, I don't know how to. I'll be here forever. To explain, but I don't know. He says it wasn't grounded. I feel like it was. It was more like.
More grounded.
Yeah,
Definitely
well,
not more grounded as Dark Knight. I don't think.
Well, what do you think?
Well, it was similar to Dark Knight. That's what that's
Yeah.
what he was saying,
Is this
and I
feels
agree.
too
No, I feel like
I
it
agree.
is grounded, like too grounded.
I agree. Yeah.
What do you think, Art?
No, I loved the fucking Batman suit. I just love how they portrayed Gotham,
Mm-hmm.
and how they portrayed this Batman who's still learning,
Yeah, but-
still making mistakes. His suit looks a lot more homemade, and like the
Yeah.
Batmobile,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
him neglecting Bruce Wayne and just going all in
Oh
with
yeah.
Batman. And
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I liked all those elements. And yeah, sure, it has been done before, but just watching it, I was like, this is good. I don't know. I'm enjoying it.
I got it.
But I can see how.
How many times have you watched it?
I've seen it like. This is probably gonna be the 6th time because I saw it like
Okay.
a month ago.
Yeah.
I watched it probably 2 or 3
But I think
times.
I think I've told you this too.
Yeah.
Is that I sort of tune out when like the Catwoman scenes come up, and I'm like, all right, now it's
I don't even remember her in the movie.
yeah,
It's not
fair
memorable.
enough. Yeah, fair enough.
And
Yeah.
I've only watched it once.
Mhm.
It's not a movie that I can see myself watching again.
It's the same thing with
As comic book fans, remember when he was getting his ass kicked towards the end, Batman, and he uses that adrenaline.
yeah.
You think that was Venom,
Yeah.
or just
I
a
think so.
general just?
No,
I
it
don't
was
know.
just that
Just
was
adrenaline
Yeah.
shot.
Just
Probably just a
adrenaline.
shot of adrenaline. I mean,
Just
he is
adrenaline.
Bruce Wayne. He
Yeah,
is Bruce
that-
Wayne.
That's just
Yeah.
adrenaline.
Yeah.
I don't know. And then even thinking about the sequel that's coming out, and
You're not.
they're bringing in Kid
Optimistic.
Clayface, and they're gonna have him wear a mask
And Joker
Again, like, and Joker's been done before
a million times.
a million
and better.
times.
Yeah.
Clayface, I get it. In the Silver Age, he always wore masks, like different clay masks.
Mhm.
But again, give me a Tim Cell Batman.
So you're.
Have we
expect-
seen
you
Clayface
wanna-
live action though?
Nope.
Yeah, okay, that's cool then.
So do you want a
but-
Batman that's just fucking? Let's just go all in. Like if you're gonna do a Batman story, go with even the crazy elements. Is what you're.
Oh, absolutely.
Go ridiculous with.
Go ridiculous. Go ridiculous.
I mean, that hasn't been done in a while, but how ridiculous? Are we talking like Batman and Robin ridiculous? Because I don't want
Or are
that.
you talking more like
You know,
again like Zack Snyder's like
I feel like
unhinged fucking.
and I
Batman.
kind of agree. Like, give me the tone and the animated series. Those
Yeah, I
type
agree
of
with
characters,
that.
those
Yeah.
villains.
No,
Yeah.
and Zack Snyder's what Zack Snyder did, what that was great was pull, like if you look at them on paper, this came from comic books. Like that scene when like you see the Trinity for the first time on the big screen, never been done before. That, and also they look like they were pulled from the comic book.
I will say,
Frank
even
Miller's Batman.
I will say, I don't want to bring Batman v Superman back, so let's not get in too much into that. I will say one of the best parts about that movie was the fight scene that they had in the warehouse. That was straight out of one of the Arkham games. That shit was awesome.
Batman.
That shit was awesome. I love that part. I love that part.
See, the problem with that is just I feel like it's just little moments ripped from the comic books, and it just doesn't feel cohesive. It doesn't feel like Matt Reeves' Batman. At least he's telling a story that, of course, may not feel original, may not feel fresh.
No, you're right.
Sure.
But
He's a great storyteller.
What Zack Snyder is like, he will probably open a comic book, point at that, and like, put that on screen, guys. Put this one on screen. And it feels a lot of that.
I disagree,
you know?
but
no, I come on. The shot of Batman doing the fucking cover of the Dark Knight.
Yeah, the Dark
Returns,
Knight. I get that.
I feel like that's all just for people to be like, oh, he did the thing, guys, or he said the thing. Let's move on now.
Fan service not done well.
Every what are you talking about? Every comic book movie does that to an extent.
But Zack Snyder is all that, Josh.
Sure.
That and plus some fucking slow motion for God knows how long.
Hey, man. Michael Bay has made billions of dollars doing that.
John
Did he
Woo did it
though,
better.
Josh?
Oh man, yeah, obviously you've never seen a Michael Bay movie.
Look.
No, that's done old, right? That's been too much. Go ahead, Edgar.
No, I think you're right. That's what he does. Okay. For example, let's go back when he announced it in Comic-Con. He pulled out fucking quote
from Batman Superman.
paragraphs on the
See, Josh wants to talk about how the Avengers is all hype. They sold you Batman v Superman off of that fucking thing.
I don't disagree.
And
I would
and knowing that, just the
Yeah,
announcement.
but it's not like 5-6 movies that are leading up to one movie. It was just one movie.
It was 5-6 movies in one movie, and that was the problem.
Yeah, okay, that's true. That's true. That's very
hey.
true. That's very true.
All right.
I don't like what the
I'm not here to talk about Batman v Superman.
No, we're not.
gentlemen.
No, we are. Look, hold on.
This is off the rails now.
Hold on.
Jesus.
Like I said, he sold us that, right?
Uh-huh.
And that's what you expected. So, he's gonna give us Dark Knight Returns.
Yeah,
And like, he just sprinkled, like
did,
you said.
but then he also gave us fucking some mindless plot with what's her name, Superman's girlfriend.
Lois.
Yeah, I don't give a shit about that.
That's the majority
Yeah.
of the
They
fucking
gave you
movie.
Doomsday for like the last 10 minutes.
Just like the
Doomsday
mindless
was
plot of
garbage.
Catwoman in
They
the
wasted
Batman.
Wonder Woman
it
and
has more weight than
and
Also, the
also-
mindless plot of Falcone.
also
it
Falcone.
kind of tied in.
Yeah,
though.
and then the mindless plot of the Riddler.
I think
That
Falcone
was a
was
mindless-
Catwoman's Falcone was Catwoman's father. That's what
That's
they went
OG. That's Long Halloween.
with. Yeah. So
No, I appreciate little elements
All
of
right,
that.
final
but-
thoughts because we got to move on to another.
to another movie. I have another one on my list if you guys want me to do that
Hold on.
one.
We'll do
So,
one more and then we'll move on to the game because we got to.
All right.
Okay,
I just
cool.
got a question for Josh.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Edgar.
Have you seen the Dark Knight's Returns, the animated film and all that?
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I liked it.
You liked it?
I liked
Dark
it.
Knight Returns was good. That was good. Yeah.
Yeah. I had no problem with it.
But why? Oh, fuck. What was I gonna say here? He wants Batman to go all out, like fucking.
No,
Fucking choke people.
guys.
No?
I don't want Batman to go all out. I'm saying that I understand what Ben Affleck's Batman was all about.
I didn't.
Why he did that. No, I think when you put the problem with Batman v Superman is there's a lot of situations that are unexplained and they expect you to understand from a fan perspective, right?
And didn't know what it was.
Yeah, it was like
it was
for
doing
example,
too much.
the Flash scene. You're like, huh? What's going on?
Yeah.
Oh, the future, the dream of Batman, and then there's the Omega sign from Apocalypse. Huh? What? Like they're probably, I would say 50% of the people that watch Batman v Superman, they were just like, what the fuck is going on? I have no
Literally,
idea
myself
what's going on.
included.
Yeah.
And I think the
And they
thing
have to Google it. And
I think
stuff
the
like
thing
that.
too about Batman v Superman is that it's very obvious they were trying to catch up to Marvel. So
they were.
It's just they're putting all this. Okay, like Doomsday wasn't needed. We could have done without him. Wonder Woman could have been a lot better in that movie. If they would have just focused on Batman and Superman fighting,
I don't think they should have focused on either of those
What-
at all.
do you
They
guys
should
know
have
just
why
like-
it was
on
called?
Superman.
Do you know why it was called Batman v Superman?
Why? You know.
So years ago there was actually a Batman v Superman that Warner Brothers was supposed to make.
Mm-hmm.
So if you watch this movie called I Am Legend,
Yes.
when Will Smith is actually walking around, what do you see in the background? Batman v Superman.
Oh shit.
So
That's cool.
So there is
Okay.
the pressure when you bring in somebody that they hold on to these certain movies and they expect you to make it.
Right.
I don't even think Zack Snyder wanted to call it Batman v Superman. You know, there's a reason why
Yeah, I
there's
don't-
Dawn of
yeah.
Justice and the Trinity that is in
Right.
it.
Yeah.
You know, and so I don't think that we understand how much studio interference there was.
Yeah.
You know, because of what Marvel was doing, because timing is everything, gentlemen. You know, I think it could be fair to say that Zack Snyder wanted to do something, but then he also had to work with the pressure of the studio down his neck as well.
Yeah.
You know?
Josh talks about how, like Ben Affleck is his favorite
Batman. Yeah.
because it's from
Visually,
it's from Frank Miller and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Zack Snyder gave us "I'll fucking kill you."
Yeah. Oh,
Right?
with the Joker.
The Joker, okay.
I swear, and I will fucking kill you. I was like, okay, come on.
This is
You seem
this,
very
to
eager
me.
to drop
To
that
me,
info.
this is the Dark Knight.
Oh.
It's from the comic and from the animated film when he fights the mutant in the fucking in the mud.
Yeah, and he's talking about how like, oh, this is my operating table, and I'm the surgeon.
That's fucking Dark Knight right there.
Not. I'll
That's
fucking kill you.
yes.
Yeah, it's
Period,
it's more of
that's
a
it.
dialogue issue than for you.
Yeah, and
you know?
Zack Snyder is obviously
Yeah.
not
Not
about
that
dialogues.
great.
You know, there are a lot of directors that are out there that is one in the or the other,
Mhm.
right? And obviously Zack Snyder. I don't watch Zack's. Why did you say her name?
Yeah.
Like, Martha. What?
Oh, don't even get me started on that.
Martha.
Oh,
You know,
man.
that's lazy
Yeah.
writing. I get
Absolutely.
it. And I'm not saying that again. If you were like Josh, top 5 comic book movie of all time, I would not say Batman v
See,
Superman.
what
But you're just
But
saying
I
you
have a
like it
soft
though.
spot
But you like
for
it though.
I have
yeah.
a soft spot for it.
Yeah.
But this Batman seems he was out just to kill Superman.
Mhm.
But why? There's little things that
I mean, he
like,
saw him
we
as a
don't-
villain because
Yeah.
of what happened in Man of Steel.
And
Yeah.
that's like why to me Zack Snyder is so visually impressive, right? You watch Man of Steel and you watch the whole shit going on with Man.
I love that fight
Superman
in general with him and General Zod.
and then
I love that fight so much.
You know, the buildings being destroyed, his laser being his
Yeah.
heat vision coming out, whatever, right? And then you see it from Bruce Wayne's perspective. There's a YouTube video where they did Man of Steel and then Bruce Wayne's perspective in Batman
Like
v Superman,
spliced almost
and it
together.
was like identical to one another.
Mhm.
You know, and then
It's like they shot it with that in mind.
yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
And it's just so well done visually. Do I think he abuses it more? Absolutely.
More style over substance
Yeah,
for sure.
you know,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that's because obviously dialogue is not his strong suit. Like I think they said how many lines did Superman have in Batman?
Barely
Superman?
any. He didn't
Yeah,
talk.
like, probably like 20 words.
He
or something
really
like
didn't
that.
talk. Yeah.
You know, it was really bad. But there were a lot of underappreciated scenes, I think, in that movie. You know, but again, I think the problem is hey, you know, if you understood Batman and you saw where he came from, you probably would know a little bit more and blah blah blah
Yeah,
blah blah.
yeah,
I think that's the problem is he expected everybody to know what was going on. Also with the pressure of rushing out.
Yeah, you were talking about the
Justice
studio
League.
interference too.
Yeah.
I think that added to it.
The
as
thing
well,
is,
so.
Zach.
We got to move
wanted
on
to-
after this point, guys.
guys,
I'm
Your
only.
final thought.
Yeah,
not
yeah.
just Zach try to bring a lot of comic book stories into one.
Yeah, I think we can all.
Yeah, too much. It's
But
just too much.
I think that's the risk of almost every comic book movie. I think
Yeah.
there's a lot of comic book movies that
They
do
try
that.
to add
But go ahead. I don't want to stop on your time.
No,
I
just
apologize.
just like it's in the Snyder's cut. They're pulling from Injustice when Superman becomes
evil.
Just so
and
they're trying to
everything.
do too much fan service. Is what you're
Yeah.
saying.
and instead of doing just
Again-
give me a comic book story.
Yeah.
You know?
Again, I think I'll go back to what Josh said. It's like there's a lot of interference from studios. That I think added to that.
But there is to again going back to your point, Alberto.
Yeah.
There is a lot of stuff that comes out of the comic book that you can appreciate as a comic book.
I can.
fan.
Yeah. I can
Yeah.
appreciate it. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so I won't. I obviously I can't go through all these. I'm just gonna do them as dishonorable mentions, and then there's one there's one I have to talk about between us three. I know it's going to be controversial. Once again, I do like most movies on this list, but there's one in particular that I gotta vent about. I know you guys aren't gonna like me for it, especially since I even have a song out about it. But yeah, so I'll do that. But anyway, some dishonorable mentions that I didn't get to talk about. The Godfather Part 3. Love the first two. The third one was absolutely ruined because Francis Ford Coppola's daughter's in that movie and she cannot act. The best part about that movie is when she died. So so there's that movie. Agent Cody Banks, love it. Mad cheesy. Karate Kid Part 2 and 3. They're redeemed by Cobra Kai. So they're awesome for that. But not great movies.
That's the first face palm on this podcast.
Not great movies. Not great movies. I love Cobra Kai though. One of my favorite shows. American Sniper, Meteor Man. I love Meteor Man, but we're not gonna get into that. I love Night at the Museum 1 and 2. Did not like 3, so that one is actually one I don't like. The Santa Claus 2. The first Santa Claus is a classic. The second one, I do like the whole trilogy, but Matrix Reloaded and Revolutions, not great. Batman v Superman is on this list too, so I have that one.
Yes.
King Arthur, Legend of the Sword. Now
I was
this
actually
is
going to talk about that movie.
King Arthur, Legend of the Sword is so bad. But I love
super hyped up about.
Yeah,
that movie.
I love Guy Ritchie so much though that I can't not like it. So it's terrible, but I love it. These are two of my overrated movies. This is going to be controversial as well. Both Pulp Fiction and Reservoir Dogs. Not a fan.
Get out of this.
Not a fan.
Right now.
Not a fan.
Guys, I'll see you later.
Not a fan. Not a fan.
See ya.
Not a fan. Not a fan.
I'm staying because someone has to talk.
Yeah, not a fan. Bad Boys 1 and 2.
Oh, hold on.
Yeah. No. I'm almost done. Because I have.
This guy just has to talk about his lack of understanding.
I have
of
one
movies.
more. I have one more that I know is going to get me yelled at even more than that one. Okay, Bad Boys 1 and 2. I like them both, but once again, not great. Here Comes a Boom. Did not like that one. Mission Impossible 2. Love John Woo, but it's a good action movie, but it's not a good Mission Impossible movie. I Am Legend, Cowboys and Aliens, Safe House.
Can we move on? From
John
this
Q.
before I shit
And
myself?
this is the one that I know is going to get me kicked out of the house. Guys, I love this movie, but it's not a great movie. Boondock Saints. So that's it. Let's talk.
And you guys are like worried about me.
It's an episode.
This is some hot.
It's an episode today.
I want to go back to Pulp Fiction and Reservoir Dogs. Those movies are fucking timeless, man.
This is more of a. I think this is probably more of a personal thing for Reservoir Dogs. Now, when it comes to like, I don't mind if you use like certain language within movies. When it comes to Quentin Tarantino, I have a bit of a distaste with at least with the way that he used the N-word in that particular movie.
Okay.
Now for
the song's violin. Okay.
Now for Django, I mean, it takes place in the 1860s. Django's a slave. Most of the movie's on a plantation. So at that time, the N-word was basically your name if you were black. So that makes a lot of sense, right? Reservoir Dogs, on the other hand, I understand, and this, like I said, this is probably more of a personal thing than anything to do with the movie. I understand that they're all like criminals. You know, these are all like pretty low life, like white dudes. I don't like the way that he used the N-word in this movie. I just think it was the only
reason why you didn't like it.
Well, not the only reason, but that's one of the reasons. I think it's mad distasteful, and I didn't appreciate it. And the other thing, it's just I think the pacing just did not work for me. The story did not work for me. Yeah,
Josh,
I just wasn't
back
a
me
fan
up
of
on this,
Reservoir
Josh.
Dogs. And I'll just say this about Pulp Fiction. The best part about Pulp Fiction, in my opinion, is Samuel L. Jackson and John Travolta. Okay. Everything else in Pulp Fiction is
but
boring.
they're in the movie like 90%. Like I don't
I don't
understand.
No, because
90% of the time they are in
everything
that movie.
everything they have with like Bruce Willis and Michael Clark Duncan and all the other stuff. I'm sorry.
You're good.
Bruce Willis and Michael Clark Duncan and all that stuff. I didn't like any of those characters.
I don't know. That wasn't even a big chunk. Like not even like.
It was pretty long. It was pretty long. They came in there pretty frequently. I mean, because Samuel Jackson at the end with
was
that
it
robbery.
The rape scene that made you feel uncomfortable?
I mean, that wasn't great to watch. That wasn't
Is
great
that
to
what
watch.
it was?
That wasn't it though. But that wasn't great to watch. No,
okay.
I do think Samuel Jackson and John Travolta were the best parts of that movie. I think they should just focus on them and left everyone else out of it.
Okay,
in my personal
Maurice,
opinion.
Josh,
But
back me up
yeah.
on this, man. Reservoir Dogs. Quentin Tarantino basically said that he just did The Thing, but with
Yes.
fucking
Yes.
robbers, right?
The Thing was
That's
better.
fucking-
The Thing was
that's
way
such a
better.
Cool.
The Thing was a
But
timeless
again,
classic.
that's why you respect and love what Quentin Tarantino does, because
Yeah.
he pays homage to
He
a lot
does
of
it better than anyone
yeah,
else.
you know, he loves when you in his interview, I think some of the movies that he says is perfect cinema was like The Thing,
Mhm.
Yeah.
Back to the Future, and
Mhm.
some other things, Bride of Frankenstein, and so forth. And
I agree.
And then a handful of martial arts movies,
Yeah.
as well. Did you like Sin City? First question.
Yeah, Sin City was good. The first one.
Do you know
the
Sin
first one's
City
good.
is like pretty much Pulp Fiction?
Yeah, they
I
are.
haven't seen it enough times, but
Well,
Where it's like different scenarios that lead up to one big event. It's
here's what
similar
I'll
to it.
here's what I'll say too. Here's what I'll say too. Certain stories, not everything's for
you
everyone.
look heated.
Maybe in that case, maybe Sin City is my Pulp Fiction personally. Yeah.
So this is me
yeah.
like
I'm just like
contradicting myself, and I'm gonna hate myself for saying this
Yeah.
out loud
Yeah.
because I'm extremely offended by this. You can't hate on cinema that is really well done, and I guess I can't hate on the Batman because it is perfect cinema. It is very well done.
Well,
It is
I'll
not
agree
for
with you
me,
on that, but
okay?
yeah,
See?
yeah.
Okay.
But that doesn't mean that the Batman is a bad movie.
Mhm.
You know.
okay. Well, then let me say this. Let me say this. Pulp Fiction and Reservoir Dogs. If we're talking technically, story, special effects, okay, maybe they're good movies.
Even dialogue.
Yeah, even dialogue. Well, Quentin
Dialogue.
Tarantino's great with dialogue.
Yeah.
Great with dialogue.
Yeah.
So Pulp Fiction and Reservoir Dogs. Okay, we'll say. You know what? Fuck it. I'll say it. They're both great movies. I think they're overrated and they're not for me. So I'll just leave it at that.
Look, Maurice,
Yeah.
as a fellow filmmaker, and
Yeah.
know, like, I feel like if you're gonna get into this kind of stuff and make movies, Reservoir Dogs, Pulp Fiction have gotta be movies that you watch for fucking dialogue. and
The
for story.
overrated
For
movies
dialogue.
are going to be
Yeah.
the ones that you're going to have to appreciate. You
Yeah.
know?
You don't have to.
No,
You don't have
I-
to.
d- d-
You don't necessarily, right? Not for all of them.
I don't hate on the Batman because it's overrated.
Yeah,
Well, I mean,
because
think of
it's
something else.
too
Think
samey.
of anything else. Think of something that like objectively everyone's like, oh, this is great, and you're just kind of like, eh.
Well, in our
Yeah.
last podcast, we definitely talked about how things get overhyped, where it puts a bad taste in your mouth.
Mm.
Doesn't mean that it's a bad movie. It
Mm.
just didn't care for it. Extras is a perfect example.
Yeah,
I never
I'd agree
wa-
with you on that one.
I never
Yeah.
liked it. I never.
But that's more my personal preference
No,
than
I
anything.
totally get
Yeah,
it, right?
yeah,
But I like everyone bragged about it. Everyone thought it was great. I went in watching it, and I'm like, yeah, it is a good piece of film.
Mhm.
But it just didn't do it for me.
Do you
because-
like? I mean, do you like it at all? Or
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
a great movie, but I can't justify putting it in my top 5
Yeah.
because I just
It
I
didn't
care
resonate
for it.
with you,
It didn't
right?
Yeah.
resonate for me.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but I have to identify it as a great movie because it is fucking well done.
Yeah.
Pulp Fiction is well done. Now, I think now I can agree and I can say that when people talk about Quentin Tarantino movies, those are the first movies to
Come up on their list, yeah.
Right.
My favorite Quentin Tarantino movie.
I think he has
is-
better ones than both of these. Personally,
I agree.
Yeah.
Actually, I do agree with that 100%.
I think he has better
Jackie
ones than
Brown
this.
is
Jackie Brown slept on. It's slept
that's
on.
a sleeper.
That's
I
slept
think
on.
that is his best movie when we talk about.
Is that
Okay.
your favorite movie?
That's my
Jack?
favorite
Okay.
Quentin Tarantino movie.
Okay.
You know, when you talk about a strong female, trying to play the game, and that is what I think of.
Mhm.
You know, everyone's talking about these woke moments about these women stepping up and blah 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 blah
Yeah.
blah.
Right.
Quentin Tarantino did it first.
Yeah.
Jackie Brown, go watch it.
I mean, same thing with Black Panther. People
All right,
think
but
that like
Edgar's
he's the
fuming
first black
over-
superhero. Like, nope, it was Blade.
What
It was
What do you have
Blade.
to say, Edgar? What? You feel like you're gonna?
I let him slide with Man on Fire. Okay.
Okay, let me say about Man on Fire. I do like that movie. I do. I mean, I even have like a. I actually do. Remember the
Yeah.
the COD video that we did.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, it's not gonna come out, but I mean, well, maybe not now. But I mean, so I do like Man on Fire. The only problem I have with that movie, is I don't think when it comes to like how the story progresses and everything, I don't think that the camera work. I think that the the way they did like kind of like the shaky cam, like flashy kind of thing, like sometimes it feels less like an action movie and more like a music video, in my opinion.
What are we
Yeah.
gonna say?
So
Just like you said, if you're a screenwriter or you're into movies, all this, how can you not like Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction?
Well, it's not even necessarily
Hold
if
on,
you.
hold on.
Okay.
hold on.
What
Because
makes
my
a-
wife
well,
is like calling me and she's like, "What are you doing?"
okay,
I mean, show her this episode.
I know, right?
what makes a great movie?
Oh shit, we're gonna be here all fucking night.
Oh, dude.
Hold on.
Yeah, let him talk. Let him talk.
Story,
Mm-hmm.
characters,
Mm-hmm.
Dialogue.
cinematography, everything, right?
Yeah.
For example, the one that comes into mind for Reservoir Dogs is the diner scene when they're all talking.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
About the tip, like how you have to tip
Yeah.
and stuff like that. Yeah.
amazing. You can do the same thing with what? Well, not Michael Rooker. What's his name?
Michael Keaton.
No. Fuck it. When he's gonna go torture the cop, that whole it's just like
Oh, Michael
one,
Madsen.
Yeah,
the
the whole
Cuts his
one
ear off
shot.
and everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
fucking cool, you know, like the audio for it, you know, when he
Yeah.
exits the room, the music
yeah.
still plays, all that shit. Pulp Fiction, same thing.
Yeah.
When they introduce Samuel L. Jackson and John Travolta's character, they're just having original, just a
The regular
normal
conversation.
dialogue, and it feels like it's a one shot too, just leading up to the hotel.
I
Yeah,
just,
it's just,
You know,
See, all that stuff I like in Pulp Fiction. I just don't like the other stuff.
I just want
Yeah.
the final saying
Yeah.
that
Yeah, before we-
Edgar,
So,
your list from the horror list has been redeemed thanks to
Thanks
this
to-
young man. So
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I'm speechless. Let's move on, gentlemen. Let's move on.
Zay.
Yeah.
yeah.
right.
Okay.
I knew we'd have some hot takes, but hey, it's all good.
Oh, wait,
Alright.
So
the one you didn't like or something.
That was it.
Oh, it was that.
those are those were all of them.
okay.
Well, like I said, I said some of these I didn't like. Some of these I didn't like, but most of them I did. Most of them I did. So
So,
yeah.
guys, did you want to do a game?
we have time. We do have
It's
time.
up to
Josh?
Josh here. And
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
All right. So
All right, cool.
Before we wrap it up, guys, I'll leave it for the end. I'll save it for the end.
Okay.
Let's do the game.
All right. Okay. So today's game is called Give Me a Name.
Okay.
So in this game, I'm gonna read the synopsis to bad movies, and you have to give me
okay.
the name of the bad movie. There's a lot on this list, but first to 6 points wins. So yeah.
Do we buzz in?
I'll be right here. You have to raise your hand as quickly as possible, and I'll pick on you. I'm gonna stand up for this too. This game can be fairly hard because I had to kind of like edit them so that they could be a little bit like less recognizable or whatever. But I will give you 2 hints per round, just 2. That's it.
Okay.
So you have to guess from there.
let's go.
All right, let's do it. So first to 6 is the winner. First one. Give me a second here. Hold up. Crap. What are you doing here? Sorry, guys. Okay, first one. In San Francisco, an amiable banker's seemingly perfect life is turned upside down when his deceitful fiancée embarks on an affair with his best friend.
What the fuck?
These are terrible movies that Maurice likes.
No, these ones are actually no. I don't like these ones. I don't like these ones.
Give us the
First hint?
Yeah, I don't
Okay,
know any
first
of them.
hint. This might give it away. Shit.
Might as well. We don't know.
I mean, as long
Yeah.
as one of us says it first,
Okay, hold on. I gotta stand up for this. Okay, first hint. Tommy Wiseau.
The Room.
That's it. First point to Alberto.
How the fuck?
That did not sound at all like the plot to The Room.
I mean that is the plot to The Room. That is
Was
the
that
plot to The
movie
Room.
like? Did
Yeah.
it have a good concept? I don't.
Yeah, no. Well, so
What the fuck?
they the movie The Disaster Artist, that's what it's about.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was going to be my second clue, but I mean, I feel like
Okay.
that would have given it away.
Let's
Okay.
let's get into what.
Okay, 1-0-0. Okay, let me see.
What the fuck is going on?
Yeah, I told you these are going to be a little bit tough, but I mean, I got them off IMDb, so blame them.
That's
Okay.
king.
All right, second one. A vacationing family discovers that that the entire town they're visiting is inhabited by goblins disguised as humans who plan to eat them all.
The fuck is this a Disney Channel movie?
No, definitely not. Praise God.
You have to give us a first hint.
Okay, there's 2 hints per round, so use them wisely. Okay, first hint. This is widely considered one of the worst movies ever made.
Troll 2.
It's not Avatar.
Okay, point to Edgar. That's it. All
I
right.
don't watch these movies. What?
Neither do I, but I mean, hey, this is the game. Okay. All right. Next one. This one might be a little bit easier, so
Okay.
get ready to go. Okay, so 1-1-0, Edgar, and then okay, got you. All right, next one. A group of teenagers look to save their town from an invasion of North Korean soldiers.
Oh, Red Dawn.
Okay, that's Josh. That's Josh.
So
All
I
right.
have seen some of these.
1-1-1-1-1. Okay, cool.
Oh God! And
right.
Of course, it had to be the Korean one. Thanks, Maurice.
Hey, I ain't make the fucking movie, bro.
Because I was gonna say that.
I ain't make the fucking movie, bro. I ain't make the fucking
All right,
movie.
let's go.
Okay. I feel like you guys should get that one. Okay. Okay. All right. This is the next one. Round 4. The darker parts of the secret agent's ledger come full circle when a dangerous conspiracy with ties to her past arises.
Lucy?
Salt.
Good guesses, but no.
Ghost in the Shell?
No.
I don't know why I thought it was that.
Can you repeat that again?
Oh,
Okay.
God, don't make him repeat it, please.
Sorry.
I know. I think I had it, but I forgot.
Oh,
Okay, you ready? Yeah. The darker parts of the secret agent's ledger come full circle when a dangerous conspiracy with ties to her past arises. It's very generic, so if you want a hint, I'll give you one.
Give me a hint, please.
Okay, I'm gonna need y'all to start raising your hands on this one because it's you guys are gonna get it. Okay, ready? Scarlett Johansson.
I thought he said it.
Go ahead,
Black
Josh.
Widow.
Yeah, that's it. All right. So, hey, that's the synopsis. That's the synopsis.
All
Okay.
right.
One, Edgar has 1, Alberto has 1, Josh has 2 now.
Wow. Fuck.
Okay.
I'm like
It's
embarrassed
no.
that I'm winning too.
Okay. Okay, this is round 5. Yeah, round 5. Yeah, this one's going to be tough. Okay, round 5. To impress a foxy divorcee, ladies' man Nick offers to take her kids on an extended road trip, unaware of the torture he's in for.
The fuck? Vacation?
No.
It's an Adam Sandler movie, huh?
No, not Adam Sandler.
No, I think it sounds like an Ice Cube movie.
Are we there yet?
Yeah.
Who said it first?
I said, are we there yet?
Okay,
First.
Alberto.
I forgot
Okay,
the name
Alberto.
of it,
So
but-
it's Alberto 2, Josh.
I'm pretty
2,
sure. Like I was like, yeah, that sounds like that. Ice
Edgar
Cube movie.
1. Edgar 1. Okay. All right, let's find another one. Okay, round 6. Yeah, round 6. A young FBI agent infiltrates an extraordinary team of extreme sports athletes he suspects of masterminding a stream of unprecedented, sophisticated corporate heists.
The fuck?
So basically, if in a more English term, an American FBI agent goes undercover to investigate bank robbers, pretty much.
So is Agent Cody Banks?
No.
I wish that was part of that
Point
movie, but no.
Break.
Point Break, which one?
The remake.
The remake. Yeah, okay. All right, so that's 2.
He seems really
Yeah.
sad that he knows about that.
Yeah, so it's 2 Alberto, 1 Edgar, 3 Josh.
You gentlemen never
Okay.
seen Point Break with Keanu Reeves?
Oh, dude, I love Point Break. That's one of my favorite action
Yeah.
movies.
I've never seen
I love
that.
that.
a great
Dude,
movie.
Point Break is great. Point Break is great.
Break.
And that
You
was
had to
alright?
see the sequel or the remake, and it was pretty bad.
Don't watch the remake. Watch the original.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
great.
he's signed. Look at he's winning.
So, okay. Okay, round 7. Okay. A desperate father takes a hospital emergency room hostage
That's
when
Oh,
the
his
one.
Q.
when it
Um,
damn it. Okay, well, who said it first?
It
was
All
him?
I saw was Denzel Washington. So.
All right. Okay. You don't
hey,
get that.
I'm looking to win, gentlemen. I'm
okay.
looking to win.
I'm not going to give you that point only because you got to wait till I finish reading the
Oh,
whole
come
thing.
on.
You got to wait till I finish reading the whole thing. Nah, we got to make it as fair as possible. All right, wait till I finish reading it, and then you're good. All right.
Have you ever watched
Next one.
Jeopardy? They cut off what's his face. I'm just saying.
Are we on Jeopardy, Josh? Are we really on that level? I wish we had buzzers.
Absolutely.
I wish we had buzzers. I wish we
Well,
had
I'm winning.
buzzers. All right, just wait till I'm done reading it. God damn it. Okay. All right, round 8. A group of martial arts warriors has only 6 days to save the Earth from an extra-dimensional invasion.
Power Rangers, the remake.
No, but
What?
good guess though. Good guess.
Brr.
Go ahead.
Mortal Kombat
Which one?
1, the very first one.
The remake. Annihilation.
Did you say? I think he said it first. He said it first. Okay. All right. So that's
Wait, what?
3. That's what the plot.
That's the first movie.
That. Hey, IMDb.
Right?
IMDb.
That's the first movie. That's not the second one.
IMDb. IMDb.
Point, guys. Hey.
IMDb. That movie is so bad that maybe it did have the same plot. We just didn't know it. But IMDb, guys.
All right.
IMDB.
What's the
Yeah.
total score right now?
So
No, like
you have 3,
three,
Josh.
three.
3, 1.
One.
You're out, dude.
Yeah.
Okay. no, you make. Come on. Hey, Edgar, you never know, bro. You might make
I
a
just
comeback.
sense some favoritism. I should be a 4-3.
Right?
But
Okay.
Favoritism.
This is okay. So round 9. Coming together to solve a series of murders in New York City are a police detective and an assassin who will be haunted by the police, the mob, and a ruthless corporation.
Tango and Cash.
No. Good guess though.
I was gonna say Spiral. Dude. I don't know.
Not a Saw movie. No.
Give me a hint.
Okay. A hint. All right. This is a video game movie. It's based on a video game, and it's a game that I know at least 3, pretty much 3 out of 4 of us like a lot.
Oh,
Go ahead, Josh.
Max Payne.
You got it.
That was on my list. What the
All right, that's what you had 4. So 4, 3, 1. All right, come on, man. Josh is taking it.
Garbage.
We gotta find.
I fucking hated that movie so much.
We gotta find. Oh my god, yeah, I gotta pick a hard one here. Okay,
Angels.
ready.
I'm on
Take.
drugs. I see angels.
Not take 10. Sorry. Round 10. Dave is deaf. Dave is deaf, and Wally is blind. They witness a murder, but it was Dave who was looking at her, and Wally who was listening.
Brr. See no evil, hear no evil.
How did you know that? Oh my god. Yep. Okay, he's almost about to win. Okay, 5, 3, 1. Damn, son. I'm surprised by that one. That one is tough. I'm really surprised by that one.
There's only one movie where like the 2 main characters are blind and deaf, and
It's that movie.
It's
Yeah,
that
it's that movie.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay.
it's actually a pretty good movie.
Yeah.
It's classic.
Let me see. All right. Round 11. A look at a top secret high-tech espionage war going on between 2 groups of animals of which their human owners are blissfully unaware.
Oh my god. Hint?
Generally speaking, these 2 groups of animals
Cats versus dogs.
All right, you got it.
What?
You got it. You got it. You got it. You got it.
I'm just
Okay.
gonna say out loud that I knew that was it, but I was too embarrassed to actually.
Actually admit it. I
So
mean,
you had to
if
make me do
if
it.
you're embarrassed by these answers, I don't blame you because like that, yeah, they're all
You're
bad.
welcome, Alberta.
They're all bad. Okay, so that's 4. Were you at 5 or 4?
He's 5. I'm up 4.
5,
So you can still take it.
4, and Eggers at 1. So you can still guess, bro. I'm not stopping you from guessing. Okay.
Yeah, Edgar.
All right.
Join us.
These are fucking terrible.
Edgar.
I haven't seen any of these.
I'm gonna, like, take
I've
a
only seen like a
hot
couple of
shower
them.
when I
but
get
yeah.
home.
Oh, right, yeah, me too.
Okay.
Drink some tea after this.
Let's see. Okay, round 12. A psychological study of Marines' state of mind during the Gulf War, told through the eyes of U.S. Marine sniper who struggles to cope with boredom, a sense of isolation, and other issues back home.
American Sniper.
No, not American Sniper. Go.
That's what I was gonna say. I'm gonna keep my mouth shut.
Okay.
Jacob's Ladder?
No.
The fuck?
Actually, I'm gonna
You guess again?
I'm gonna try.
Go ahead.
Brr.
Go ahead.
Just throwing that when you're on shooter.
No. Good guess though.
Well,
You want a hint?
fuck
Yeah.
me.
Jake Gyllenhaal.
Oh.
He got it. He
Yeah.
got it.
Well, you're gonna
All
keep
right.
this going.
All right, that's 2 Edgar, 4 Alberta, right?
Just let Josh
And
put it
5 for
He's
Josh.
close to it.
Okay. Oh, I hope this doesn't go into overtime because I have
Make
so many
Edgar
on here.
just,
I
catch
have
up to us.
so many on here. Okay, let me see.
That was my first guess. I just don't want to say it.
Okay, round. This is 12, 12, 13. Round
Mhm.
13.
Holy shit.
Omri, a young boy growing up in Brooklyn, receives an odd variety of presents for his birthday: a wooden cupboard from his older brother, a set of unique keys from his mother, and a plastic Indian from his best friend Patrick.
I don't know that.
Indian in the cupboard.
He got it. Josh is the winner. He takes the cake.
I guess
He takes it.
Yeah, to be fair, I just know that from the book when I was a kid.
Oh, you read the book? Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's what's up. Yeah, that movie was like in the early 2000s. I've seen it. It's not great. It's not great, but
Well,
yeah.
guys, I've been
Yeah.
dethroned because I was.
He was the game master, but you know, if you guys ever have an episode without like where it's just you two and Josh, you should create one for him just since he's in it now. You know what I mean? Or if you just want to have both of us, you know, you can. So
Yeah. I mean,
but
we'll see.
yeah.
We'll see.
So
Well, guys, this has been a very intense,
hot takes.
heated episode, but thank you, Josh, for providing us with more great content. Edgar, you
Thank you for
dropped
having
in.
me.
Thanks for coming, Edgar, and thanks for coming, Josh.
As much
Yeah,
as we
nice.
guys
Yeah.
we like to, yell at each other about these things. I think it was all in fun.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it a lot. Thank you, Josh, and we'll see you guys on the next episode of. I don't know what this is all going to be called.
Just say it. Go ahead.
The Super Brothers. That's what we're calling it. The Super Brothers podcast.
Two brothers
All four of us are here.
And a black guy and friend.
In front.
and friend.
His name is Josh.
Nintendo's gonna sue you.
Oh,
Yeah, you're fucked.
Yeah, they
all
are.
fun.
They are
Well,
definitely.
And follow us on socials wherever you listen to podcasts, and we'll see you guys on the next episode.
Peace out.